School, along with Dallas Robinson. I'm Scott Jaggers. Mike Montgomery stepped away for just a moment, but we are going to play the football game here tonight. 16 and a half minutes up on the board. Both teams out on the field and stretching. A little bit of a surprise that this game is going to take place here tonight, Dallas. We've been sitting around here blowing about a 2.5-hour pregame show thinking there's no way they're going to play this game, and then all of a sudden they announce it, and we're going to get this thing in, it looks like.
Hey, actually, I think it was all part of plan. They're completely sold out of Chick-fil-A down there, and they're almost out of hot dogs and almost out of Gatorade. So if we see some new facilities go in place and we start seeing this trend throughout the state of delaying games to force people to buy more things, I think it's pretty smart.
Well, the economy has been struggling a little bit, and they want to get those things out and sold, and this is one way to do it. But, again, both teams out on the field and stretching. They do expect to play 12-minute quarters. At this point, they are not planning on a running clock, normal clock, so we will get this thing underway, I guess, about 9:20 or so. And Dallas just telling me he's got a bit of a drive after the game tonight. So,
yeah, we drove Dallas all the way from Scott County. So
well, and kind of like I was saying before, a traditional weekend. If I'm not doing something for the Army, I'm out in Campbellsville on my grandma's farm, a few hundred acres out there, and so tonight after the game, I go to Georgetown, pack my stuff up, grab my three-legged dog Buckle, get in the truck, drive to Campbellsville to hopefully be up by sunrise and get to work on the farm.
Well, tomorrow when you're falling asleep over the hoe or whatever it is you happen to be
hoe.
Working with.
Do they still have those on the farm?
Do they still use those? When you're leaning on your
typically they use tractors nowadays.
On your tractor and you're falling asleep and you're carving donuts in the field, we will send our apologies.
Hey, no worries at all.
When's the last time you saw an Oldham County game?
My younger brother graduated in 2004, and I think that was the last Oldham County game that I saw. And I visited Mike Jackson when he brought his Ballard team down to Madison Central when I was living in Madison County because I went to school at EKU there in Richmond, and came down to see him, and that was 2010. And that was the last time I spoke to Mike Jackson, and obviously 4 or 5 years before that was the last time I'd been at an Oldham County football game.
So it's well overdue is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is.
It's one of the things that really helps make a tradition, in my opinion, is bringing the alumni back, getting them to, speak to the players, getting them to talk to the players, getting them to talk to the new coaches. I mean, let's face it, tradition only exists if it is perpetuated, and so it's good to have you back.
Dallas, something Mike and I were talking about a little bit earlier, that if this game would have gotten canceled, that means the first game next week for Oldham County would have been against North Oldham. So already you've got the jitters of the first game of the season, and then on top of that, it would have been your rivalry game. It's a good thing that they're going to get some play in tonight to kind of get that out of the way for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks like a well-coached team, so I think they're going to be well-prepared regardless. But, I think getting some of the kinks ironed out and building an identity and some confidence and moving in the right direction tonight is definitely going to help. I don't understand this North Oldham rivalry. I barely understand a rivalry with South Oldham, although they did beat us, our class. I think they had beaten us, as far as Oldham County versus South Oldham 2 times in 10 years. So there really wasn't much of a rivalry there. And then all of a sudden there's this little small school that pops up in the county called North Oldham. And then, one of the coaches, Coach Martin,
Billy Martin.
Billy Martin off of Mike Jackson's staff goes over there. And 3 years later, they're a powerhouse. It's I don't fully understand it, but it's pretty awesome.
Well, there are a couple of ways you can look at rivalries. Obviously, this is a natural rivalry, so you kind of even throw the record out, because the thing about this, you and I are neighbors, and then all of a sudden we're playing against each other on the football field, right? So you have other rivalries. Who was your main rival when you played here? Who would you consider?
Honestly, for us, because you had large districts at that time. And so, there were, 6, 7 team districts. They had always said, well, Shelby County is your rivalry. And man, we pummeled Shelby County. I mean, we beat them by 40 points every time we go out there, and then honestly, during my stay here, I would have to say, even though we beat them more often than not, Nelson County or North Hardin. Those were larger county schools that would traditionally go 2 to 3 games deep in the playoffs. We would see them regular season, and then obviously potentially see them in playoffs again.
And, you're right. At that time, the districts were bigger. It sometimes was harder to decide which of those teams was really the rival. There just was a bunch of teams. When I grew up here in Oldham County, there was only one high school. Mm-hmm. So there was no South Oldham, there was no North Oldham, and the rival was very obvious. It was Shelby County. Okay, I grew up, you had to beat Shelby County. And when I went to school here, that was a rare occurrence, us beating Shelby County. But, it's interesting. You mentioned what you said about North Oldham and even South Oldham. People ask me occasionally, hey, you went to Oldham County, your kids go to Oldham County. Do you have difficulty calling and being an objective announcer when Oldham plays South or Oldham plays North? And the answer is no, and I never have. I've just found it to be an exciting game because, to me, you got to beat Shelby. Unfortunately for me, Shelby isn't on the schedule anymore, so it's not there. But I just find it to be an interesting ball game. And I know so many of the kids nowadays at North Oldham and at South Oldham, kids who I've coached in baseball and basketball, that it's hard for me to root against anybody. It's just a fun game. Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm going to ask you to be fashionistas here for me for just a second. With every new coach comes something else new, and that is the uniforms. Every new coach has to put their stamp on the program, and Mike Schatzer, no different than anybody else. Oldham County tonight, folks, if you're not watching right now with us, white pants with blue stripes down the side, royal blue jerseys with white numbers. Announcers like that nice big contrast. And white helmets with the blue stripe down the middle and the blue interlocking OC on the sides.
They
Guys,
look like the Indianapolis Colts.
They do look like the Colts.
Yep, and even as throwback as when they were at Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I like the uniforms. They're clean and simple
for now.
Well, the design, I think, is what we're talking about here. It's a nice, clean football design.
Well, I mean, a lot like the offense that he's bringing in. Just good, clean, simple. I like it.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch here. Iroquois on the other end of the field is kind of blue and white too, but a little bit different. The Raider Wolves are navy blue, kind of a sky blue and white. Their pants kind of a dark blue with a sky blue stripe down the side. Sky blue numbers, which I'm not going to like tonight, on a white jersey. And then a dark blue helmet with the Raider Wolf logo. Now, guys, you all aren't quite as old as I am, but you may remember that Iroquois was known at one time as the Raiders, just simply the Raiders, and they had a Native American logo, and of course that was considered to be not politically correct, so they took away the Native American logo, replaced it with the head of a very ferocious-looking wolf. And basically we're changing their motif, if you will, to that of a wolf. But apparently somebody wanted to keep the old tradition to somewhat. So their official name is the Iroquois Raider Wolves. It's definitely got to be the biggest mouthful of a name I've ever dealt with. And I'm not really sure what a Raider Wolf is.
Well, they have an Iroquois Park over there, and maybe there's wolves running around the park, and there you go.
And they
that's how rumors get started. One thing I noticed about the two uniforms, though, Iroquois, several different color shoes out there. I saw a neon green over here. If you look at Oldham County, and this is something you really don't see all that often anymore, everybody has on the same color shoes.
Not just that, the same color socks.
And the same color socks. Black socks.
Black.
Yes.
Now, our coach always told us that black shoes made you look slower.
Sure. Yeah, no, I've heard the same thing, but I would rather someone think I look slow.
Oh, that was the point. Yeah, that was the point of wearing them.
Yeah.
Oldham County over here to our right. We got 7 minutes away till kickoff here. The two teams opting to go with it here, although a lot of games tonight have been delayed till tomorrow morning. This one is going to go off here, just less than 7 minutes, and we're going to take a quick timeout for the national anthem. You're watching Oldham County football on the Pegasus Sports Network.
Sponsor of the Pegasus Sports Network is Mountjoy Chilton Medley Certified Public Accountants, the largest locally based accounting firm in Kentucky and southern Indiana, offering a full range of accounting, audit, tax planning, and advisory services for businesses and individuals. Employing nearly 120 CPAs, Mountjoy Chilton Medley provides highly specialized services that can help you achieve your personal and business goals. For a complete list of services and more, on the web at mcpa.com. Mountjoy Chilton and Medley, 502-749-1900.
A wise man once said, "The secret to happiness is comfortable shoes." Well, I don't know about that, but I do know one thing. I'm a happy man when my feet are feeling good. And that's the idea behind Happy Feet, the world's most comfortable slippers. It's like walking on pillows. Owned and operated right here in Kentucky, Happy Feet has the coolest, the warmest, the most comfortable slippers around. College basketball fans will love the UK and U of L slippers. They look just like sneakers. Animal lovers will adore Animal Feet, a line of cushy slippers that look like every animal you can think of. There's even a dinosaur for the kids. Check them all out now at www.buyhappyfeet.com. That's www.buyhappyfeet.com, and give the gift of Happy Feet. Happy Feet. It's like walking on pillows.
Hey y'all, I'm Kix Brooks.
I'm Ronnie Dunn.
And we're Brooks.
And Dunn for rad. And I've got a 4-letter word for you. Don't. As in don't drive drunk.
And I got a 3-letter word for you, as in get the keys.
When you see someone who's about to drive under the influence,
get the keys.
Because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
I'm building bridges.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Oldham County High School, Belfield, and this is Pegasus Sports Network coverage of the Oldham County Colonels. Tonight, opening game of the 2014 season is finally about to get started. About 4:18 to go here till we get this game underway. Oldham County against the Raider Wolves of Iroquois High School, both games in their first games of the year under first-year head coaches, and Mike Schatzer hoping to get things started here tonight. Although, guys, we had to endure the world's longest pregame show to get here.
Well, Mike, I'm very impressed by the Oldham County crowd that stuck around for this thing. I mean, you look down here, it's obviously not a sold-out crowd, but a pretty good showing here tonight, especially to be, 2.5 hours late?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because I was had run downstairs here very briefly just before they were getting ready to get started, and I was met by a tidal wave of people coming in here.
Student section, not quite what you might think down there, but the rest of the crowd, obviously on the Iroquois side, you can probably count them on two hands over there, but Oldham County with a nice showing. You know, obviously that just goes to show you that everybody's ready to get this football season underway.
Yeah, everybody's excited about it. Hey, want to remind everybody about the coffee news. You know, it's you've seen them, little brown one-page newspapers that are just about in every restaurant in Oldham County. They're free. You can pick them up, and it's just a great thing to read while you're sitting down over your lunch break. You know, little jokes, little stories, little quotes. And also, some sponsors from the local area that are the big movers and the shakers in the community. You can be a part of this. Get yourself an ad. Be seen every day by thousands of people in the area while they're eating their meals there at these restaurants. Just give them a call if you're interested. As they say, they got a few spaces for rent. You can give them a call. Call David at 797-7828. That's, of course, area code 502-797-7828. And this is a local establishment, and they stay local. They've got the Pegasus Sports broadcast schedule printed on it, so it's a neat little thing. That's the coffee news.
Can I have a look at that to see how my horoscope's going to go for the rest of the night? Thanks,
yeah, it's
Mike.
got the horoscope there too.
Appreciate that.
Along with Scott Jaggers, I'm Mike Montgomery, and our special guest announcer tonight, 2001 Oldham County graduate Dallas Robinson, who played on this field many a time. and of course most recently has been in the newspaper doing the bobsled thing. Just a sport that, again, as we were talking about, here in Oldham County, boy, we, for years when I went to school here, winter was just a sport that you had to go inside for because it was just too cold. But do you already miss the bobsledding, or are you ready to move on to the next thing, Dallas?
Yeah, no, I don't miss it at all. And a lot like you said, it's funny in the sport of bobsled, kind of like we were saying before, they basically recruit speed and power athletes, and more often than not, they come from the South. So, I mean, you look at, for our team, it was California, Texas, Nebraska, Kentucky, Florida. There really weren't many people from the North because no one, even up there, grows up bobsledding. There's a couple bobsled tracks, but it's specifically for World Cup, specifically for Olympics. And so that's, they recruit speed and power athletes. If you're big and fast and you're willing to put on spandex and stand out in 0-degree weather and throw yourself off a cliff, you got a shot.
And if you're in Jamaica, you got lots of a shot.
Yeah, they, it's funny, Jamaican bobsled team, we never see them on a normal World Cup tour. We never see them year after year after year after year, but traditionally Olympic year, they'll raise some funds and kind of get together a few guys and rent a sled and get out there and still compete for their country. And obviously a lot different than Germany, a Russia, U.S., that you have thousands of athletes that try out for a team, and they dwindle it down to, for us, 6 push athletes, a couple for 2-man and then a couple 4-man teams. For them, it's kind of like who can raise some money and get out here and willing to go down a hill on a sled. And, it's such an expensive sport, and it's millions of dollars to build a track. Just our BMW sleds are $250,000 a piece.
Wow.
And, it's definitely a difficult sport if you don't have the backing or funding of major corporations.
All right, we're about ready to get this ball game underway now as the scoreboard is set with 12 minutes up there. Oldham County heading to the sideline for the first time with Mike Schatzer at the helm. It's assembled quite a coaching staff. There's some returnees here on this coaching staff. Tom Hawkins, who's been with Oldham County football on and off since, dating back to the 70s. When I moved out to the county. Rick Young, who's been with Oldham County football for a long time, now the defensive coordinator here at Oldham County High School. And Schatzer has pulled in some players, or some coaches rather, from all over the state. Here comes the captains. Number 9 is James Harding. Harding, the returner at quarterback. He'll be your starter tonight. Number 61 is Alistair Smith. Smith will be your starting center for the Colonels. Number 34 is Justin Villar, who will be one of the rotating tight ends. And I believe, number 16 was the other one, Brian Barmanji. Excuse me. I always want to call him Barmanji. It's Barmanji. He is the fourth captain for Oldham County here tonight. Finally going to get this game underway. Nearly 2 hours after the scheduled kickoff.
One of the coaches on the Oldham County sidelines, John Kosek, and he was actually a javelin thrower for me when I coached at Berea College.
Really?
One of the kids when I first got there was already on the team, and I coached there 2 years, and so he was a javelin thrower. Obviously, Berea College didn't have a football team, but my understanding is he played at Henry County in high school, and he's one of the coaches on the Oldham County sideline. So it's there's coaches that are coaching down here that actually coached me when I was still in high school, and there's actually people that I coached also coaching for this team. So it's kind of neat.
Oldham County, it looks like, is going to end up getting the ball here as Iroquois won the toss, has deferred. Oldham County will receive in the east end zone. Iroquois will kick off to start this football game.
I would not defer in a game where there's lightning delays.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I would try and score early, and if there's another delay or a game cancellation, you win the game.
You win the game.
They're pretty confident. I like that.
Especially, they've talked about possibly moving to a running clock at some point during this game. So
right.
Obviously, that's a disadvantage as well if you go to the running clock in the second half. And
Oldham County sends Parker Hennings deep to return this, along with that.
Number 8,
It looks like number 8 is the other one. That's Alan Farrow, a wide receiver. Farrow, a senior. Hennings, also a senior. And the Iroquois will kick off to get this game underway, kicking off from right to left for those of you who are listening to our audio broadcast. Guys, I've run out of things to say. Iroquois, it's going to be fun checking these numbers here tonight, guys. They're sky blue on white jerseys. And they're, although there is a tiny dark outline to the numbers, it's not enough to make them real super easy to read. So the Raider Wolves set to kick it off here. And it'll be a fairly deep kick, taken about the 7-8 yard line by Hennings. Hennings up the middle of the field, gets it out over the 20 and near the 25 yard line. Looks like might be out near the 26. They'll spot it over the 25 at the 26 to start this game 1st and 10 for Oldham County as James Harding brings his offense out on the field for the first time.
Maybe a little bit of nerves over on the sideline for this coaching staff, being their first high school play in the state of Kentucky.
Jacob Yall is the fullback. Jason Henry is the tailback for the Colonels who come out in the eye. They'll give it to Henry on the first play over left side. Not a whole heck of a lot there, maybe a couple out to about the 28. It'll be 2nd and 8. Setting that offensive line for Oldham County at left tackle, it'll be Jonathan Queenan. Your left guard, Jake Voiles. The center, Alistair Smith. On the right side, number 65 at guard, it'll be Ian Fullerton. And your right tackle is Tyrell Wright. Your tight end, Isaiah Kelly, number 19. And at wideout, Trey Tucker and Alan Farrow. To the right side, it'll be Henry again getting the call on 2nd down, and this time he's going to lose a couple of yards. So Oldham County, first 3rd down conversion attempt of the night is going to be a long one. It'll be 3rd down and about 9.
Maybe a little bit difficult to run outside against a team like Iroquois. Typically not a very big team that they have, but they typically have some athletes that are fairly quick and can meet you out there on the corner.
We'll be watching quite a few athletes here. Malik Lewis is a good one at middle linebacker. From the shotgun now. Back to throw. Harding. High pass is incomplete. Trying to get it out there to Tucker. And he was open, but I don't know that he had a whole heck of a lot of room to run. Oldham County will go 3 and out on the first possession. For Oldham, the punter is Farrow, Alan Farrow. Senior will be standing just inside his 20-yard line, so Iroquois with a chance of getting pretty decent field position here.
Busy Mana back to take the kick for Iroquois. A little bit of confusion here on the line for the Colonels.
So Iroquois looks like they're expecting a 40-yard punt, and well, it's about 12 yards.
Yeah, it's going to go out of bounds around the 41-yard line, and officials coming together. Wow, I think Oldham might have gotten a very favorable spot there. That looked like it went out of bounds inside the 45. They're going to mark it at the 45-yard line.
It looked like it crossed the line somewhere around it looked like that's where it actually hit out of bounds, 10 yards deep on the sideline at the 45. It looked like it went out of bounds about 10 yards before that.
And we saw a little bit during warm-up that Oldham County was struggling with punting the ball.
And we get a quick flag here before we even get started. Iroquois at quarterback. It'll be number 5, Malik Saunders. He's a 5'11", 175-pound senior. Also plays on defense at defensive back. But the penalty here is going to march his team back 5 yards. And so Iroquois still good field position, but it's 1st and 15 now at midfield.
Maybe some of those that built-up energy after the delay.
This means everybody's number is kind of facing me. They got a man in motion. They'll hand off into the middle of the line. Brief opening there, and picking up about 4 quick yards was number 19, Larry Jackson. 5'10" senior running back. And guys, for a second there, it looked like there was a hole, but to Oldham County's credit, it shut down in a hurry.
A little misdirection play by Iroquois that time. I was a little bit distracted by the lightning strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Second and 11. Oldham County across that defensive front. Adams, Brown, Fullerton, and Payton. Fullerton going both ways on both sides of the line here. Oldham County from the, well, you got one backfield and taking it on the left side and getting good yardage, very close to the first down. Again was number 19, Jackson. And he got a nice little hole over on the left side in between the tackle and the guard, and picks up a bundle. It'll be third down and a long 2, almost 3.
Pretty good recovery by Payton that time. He had already, the ball carrier had already gotten past him, had to reach backwards and grab him, but nice job of not letting go and letting him get the extra 3 or 4 yards to gain the first down.
Zach Payton, junior defensive end. Iroquois facing third and short. They give it to the tailback again, fighting forward, and I don't think he's going to get it, guys, as Oldham County stacking the line in the middle there, and that time Jackson is going to come up just a little bit short. Fourth down for Iroquois.
You know, I think I would go for it if I were Iroquois right now.
Well, they're moving the ball well, and they've picked up basically 14 yards here on 3 plays. Lombardi would say those odds are pretty good. It'll be 4th and 1. Iroquois wideouts both directions. High backfield. Looks like Jackson is the tailback. The fake at the quarterback's going to keep it. He's in trouble, though, giving ground. Loose ball. Oldham County's going to get it. The Colonels will come up with the loose ball, and it was number 54, Spencer Adams, the junior in Oldham County, at the 35-yard line of Iroquois.
So we had talked a little bit about in the pregame the defensive line, and if they bring a blitz or if they get past that line of scrimmage, what are they going to do? And were they going to get depth? Were they going to contain? And in that scenario, they contained. That's exactly what they did. They didn't run past quarterback. They kept the quarterback within the pocket. Obviously, the quarterback looked as if though he was going to bootleg. It was a planned bootleg, and he was just going to try and take it himself.
Yeah, I was just a little confused by the play call. They'd had some success running the ball and only needed another couple yards.
Give us to Jason Henry, and he is met in the backfield at the 40-yard line, stood up by number 7, Jonte Watkins for Iroquois. And they will mark his progress at the 39, so that's going to be a loss of a couple. Henry has run the ball on all 3 running plays for Oldham County, as the Colonels now send Austin Snell wide to the left side, 3 wide to the right for the Colonels. Harding in the shotgun. High snap, brings it down. Here comes the rush. Rolls to his right, throws underneath, and one hops it to his intended receiver, trying to get it over to Carson Axtell. It'll be third down, and 12 for Oldham County.
Pretty good job to avoid the rush that time, although the defender came off the the left side and really overran the quarterback that time. He had him in his sights and just overran him, and able to make a move, roll out to his right, get rid of the football.
That's the second time I've seen Iroquois bring pressure from the strength. In other words, the direction the quarterback's going to look. So it seems as if, though, they're pushing him away from his options.
Parker Hennings in motion. They'll give it to him on an end around. Hennings is not going to get to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose another yard, maybe 2, back to the 40-yard line. And Oldham County looking at 4th down and about 13.
Yeah, Mike, again, we go back to that Iroquois pursuit on the outside. They've got some athletes over there, and it's going to be very difficult for the Colonels to outrun them.
And Oldham County's going for it. On what, 4th and 13?
4th and 13. Well, if you give up the ball here, you give it up at the 39. Remember, Joe Jaggers of North Hardin never punted if he was on the other side of the opposite side of the field. In trouble. Hennings not Jennings, Harding gets it away. It's caught. Deflected and caught at the line of scrimmage. There will be a flag, though.
For what? The ball was tipped.
The ball was tipped. I don't think this can be an ineligible receiver, and they are getting the confirmation now that it was tipped, but that's going to be a turnover on downs. The Colonels will pick up, looks like they'll get it down to the 31-yard line. Only a gain of 8, but they do gain a little positive yardage. That sticks Iroquois back a little bit more in a hole.
Who caught that pass?
It was caught by number 52, I think, Joel Carey, a senior offensive lineman.
May very well be his only reception of his career.
Now, Oldham County gives it up on downs. Iroquois will take over. Turned it over on downs. Well, actually, they fumbled it. This time, Saunders going deep. Has a man wide open, and he has it and falls down inside the Oldham County 30 at the 29. Just got past the defense that time in the secondary. Nobody within 5 or 6 yards of it.
And Busy Mana did a good job of adjusting to that throw. It was underthrown by a good 7 to 8 yards and had to stop his route and come back towards the ball and actually had to make a diving catch.
And Carson Axtell was the defensive back over there, and honestly, he was just looking at the quarterback. He completely forgot that he had a receiver over there that had already ran 15 yards past him.
Saunders getting his play from the sideline. He's got Larry Jackson in the backfield with him. 2 wide to the left, 1 wide to the right. 1st and 10 from the Oldham County 29-yard line. They'll give it to Jackson, running up the middle, bounces it to the right side, and he'll get knocked down near the first down marker. Well, right now, the big difference in this ball game, although there's no score with 5:59 to play here in the first, has been the team speed of Iroquois, guys. This is a team that seems to have a much quicker first step. Again from the shotgun. Saunders changing the play at the line, sends man in motion, overloading the left side, low snap. Saunders going to roll to his left, in trouble, gets away from the defense, throws underneath, and it's complete down to about the 19-yard line. Not quite sure. Yes, he did get the first down. They'll mark him at the 18.
Again, not a good angle rushing the quarterback that time. It looked like he was rolling out to his left from the very beginning. A little bit of pressure in the backfield and just not a good angle.
1st and 10, Iroquois in the red zone. Deepest threat for either team here tonight, and they'll go back to the I formation. Really don't love these pale blue numbers. They'll pitch back. This is a new back there, and he is going to get stacked up on the far side by several blue jerseys by Oldham County.
That was Jerome Kahn running the ball there.
And Spencer Adams in there to lead the charge for Oldham County on defense. Kahn, a 5'10", 170-pound junior.
So something that I'm noticing also about Iroquois right now is the coaches simply calling in plays from the sideline. The Oldham County quarterback is actually running to the sideline to have a discussion with the coach and then running back to the huddle.
Fumble on the play here. Loose ball in the middle of the turf there. And waiting for the official call from the, looks like it's going to stay with the Iroquois, but that'll bring up a 3rd and long now.
And Dallas, I was just noticing the same thing. They really haven't went to a huddle all that much. And what that does, it gives your quarterback a little bit more time up on the line to recognize the defense and pick it out, and the coaching staff to make any adjustments. A lot of college teams go into this, they line up, and then everybody looks over at the coaching staff on the sideline to get that call, and then they reset.
So it'll be 3rd down and almost 8 for the Raider Wolves. 3 wide to the right, 2 to the left. Saunders all alone in the backfield. He's going to take off with it. Cuts up at the middle of the field and is wrapped up quickly, well shy of the first down. Actually, was that Saunders or not?
It was.
No, it was not. It was
Tommy
number
Grogan.
17, yeah.
No, I think it was number 3.
It was 3.
Three that took the snap.
That took the snap.
Correct.
Okay, they don't have a number 3.
Oh, what? Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at the Oldham County roster.
Well,
Yeah,
but I think
they don't
you're
have
right.
a number 3, but it was a number 3.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Iroquois is going to go 4-3 right now as they trot out the kicker. Number 33, Aiden Ismail. His kick is up, and it is good. So Iroquois gets on the board first, about a 33-yard field goal with 2:52 to play here in the first period. Iroquois scoring first here, and Dallas, like you said earlier, getting that early edge in a game that you have no idea where it's going to go here time-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not seeing any more lightning, and it doesn't seem as if, though, at least for now, it's going to be canceled early. But what we're seeing so far is a trend, and the trend is Iroquois is moving the ball. And a little bit sloppy, dropping the ball on the ground a little bit. And it's wet out there, but they are consistently moving forward.
Yeah, a couple of questionable play calls on the 2 third downs that they've had, though. They've had some success, like you said, running the football up the middle. The previous drive, they elected to roll the quarterback out. He ended up taking the large loss. And on this drive, it was a quarterback keeper instead of handing off to the running back, the things they've been successful at. So we'll have to see if that play call changes as the game goes on.
Hennings and Farrell back deep again. Hennings with a nice return last time, so they're not going to kick it to him. They kick it over to Farrell over at the 6, over the 20, over the middle. Popped hard as he gets it out to the 25-yard line, but a nice return by Alan Farrell, and Oldham County will start somewhere out near the 25-yard line. Took a pretty hard pop out there. Everybody getting up, though. I talked to Mike Schatzer. I said, what's your nightmare scenario tonight? What's the worst thing that can happen? And he said very simply, a lot of injuries. He says, we can't afford them. I was kind of thinking in terms of style of play, but that was a pretty good answer. Colonels bring 2 wide to the left side this time as James Harding out in the shotgun. Henry standing to his left, and he'll give it to Henry. Sticks it in his gut, bounces it off to the right side, and out near the 28-yard line, a pickup of 2 or 3.
Every single play that I've seen so far, the Iroquois, they're getting the backfield, and they're getting the backfield very quickly.
Hennings did a good job that time of sliding off that first contact and at least making sure it was positive yardage. He's got 4 carries right now for 0 yards. 2 wide again for the Colonels. Again, Harding from the shotgun, and he fakes it to Henry and takes off running himself with it. Over the 30, is hit hard and knocked down as he crosses the 30, gets maybe to the 31-yard line. Harding with what I would call deceptive speed. He's not going to outrun a whole lot of folks, but he's quicker than most. Gives them a 3rd and 6 situation after the gain of 2. He'll send Farrow and Trey Tucker wide to the right side. To the left side as we have a timeout?
Yeah, a little bit of confusion.
Yep. Oldham County is going to take a quick break here. 3-0 Iroquois, 1:21 to play here in the first period.
But Dallas making a good point. Iroquois in the backfield, it seems like every play. And my first thought is, are they bringing more people than Oldham County is able to block? But it doesn't look like that's the case. Maybe one more person, but that offensive line is going to have to shore it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Oldham County is running the ball a lot. So there's really no excuse to be waiting and letting people run past you because you know what's in front of you, you know your target, and your job on a run play is to push your target backwards. And, it is a little troublesome when you receive a handoff and you're getting hit as soon as you receive that handoff.
And Iroquois, you look at their line, they're not really that big. Certainly no bigger than the offensive line of Oldham County. With the exception of maybe one there in the middle for the Raiders, but
Carson Axtell wide to the right. It's like Tucker and Farrow to the left. 2 backs along with Harding in the shotgun.
They
Flushed out of the pocket.
brought pressure that time, that's for sure.
Throws it down. He's got a man open. That's Axtell at the 40. Tries to shake a man, is drugged downfield. Iroquois pulling him the wrong way, and they drag him down inside the 20, down about the 16-yard line.
So it looks like he ran a drag route from the backside and just kept running.
Well, and a good job recognizing where the quarterback was. When the quarterback is coming to your side of the field and towards you like that, you take off down the field, create some of that separation, and he was able to get about 5 yards behind the corner that time.
First down for Oldham County, and it ends up coming on a 52-yard pass play. Dallas, you talked about Oldham County earlier letting the receiver run by them, and that time Oldham County returning the favor.
Absolutely. And actually the receiver was the defensive back that let the other guy run past him. So maybe they're just helping each other out there.
1st and 10 from the eye. There's the give to Henry. Henry with some running room this time. Up the middle, it gets it inside the 10. A solid run on 1st down.
And Dallas, you know as well as I do, sometimes a play like that is what can spark your offense. And there you see it right off the next play. All of a sudden a quick 5-yard gain. And so maybe that's what gets this offense on track.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what we just saw right there, for the first time, the Oldham County line drove back the Iroquois line.
2nd down and 3 for Oldham County. The ball just inside the 10. Offset eye behind Harding, and Henry has nowhere to go. Good pressure up front. That was number 57. Well, I thought it was number 57. I don't see a 57 on the Iroquois roster. I may have. It's 51. Yeah, that's what it is. It's 51. Aaron Webster. And that is the end of your first quarter. Oldham County driving. They'll be looking at 3rd down inside the Iroquois red zone when we return. 3-0. Iroquois leads it. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Oldham County High School. A low-scoring first period. The Raider Wolves of Iroquois on top 3-0 on a 33-yard field goal. But Oldham County on the ensuing possession got a big 52-yard pass play to Carson Axtell, and now Colonels looking at 3rd down and about 4. Harding back to pass. In trouble again. He's going to go down in the backfield, and that is going to drive him all the way back to the 20-yard line. The first sack of the game for Iroquois.
Oh, what is going on?
Wait a minute. What is going on here? Wow. Yeah, I did not see a fumble.
No. I mean, the quarterback was on the ground. He was on the ground for over a second before that ball came out, and it looks like they called it a fumble.
Wow, a huge break for Iroquois.
Matt, get the replay going for us there, please.
Yeah, we need to get our producer to do a replay there. All right, backfield for the Raider Wolves. Handoff into the line, and a quick gainer off the left side.
But James Harding, he's had to throw a ball probably a lot more than what they anticipated, but he hasn't had an opportunity to sit back there and settle his feet.
No.
I mean, every single time he's gotten the ball, he's been hit within a second or two.
Well, and I was just thinking, we talked about the left tackle and the importance of that position. None of the pressure so far has come from that left side. It's all come from the right side, and like you mentioned earlier, the side that he's looking at every time.
That's a very easy way to disrupt a pass play. You bring pressure from the side of his options, so he has to turn back to a single option.
Saunders on the right side, running around the end there, hit, and finally is stopped there. Getting in there to make the final stop for Oldham County, number 43, Alex McIntosh, junior linebacker, but it'll be enough for the first down for Iroquois. The big eye on the side of the helmet there kind of reminds you of the old Illinois eye.
So right now, James Harding's actually on the bench getting looked at.
He's taken a few more shots tonight than I'm sure the Oldham County coaching staff would say they would be comfortable with here. Saunders brings his team out, I formation. Jackson looks like the tailback. They play action. Rolling to his left, Saunders slips, and that may have cost him. The ball's knocked loose onto the ground. Let's see who's going to come out of there with it.
Looks like Oldham County is going to come up with that ball.
No word yet from the officials. Yes, Oldham County.
So once again, we saw for the second time they contained the quarterback. And it looks like Iroquois, when they drop back for a pass, the coach knows it's 50-50. He's going to run or he's going to pass. So, it's just an option play. And, when Oldham County contains the quarterback and forces the quarterback to settle his feet and forces him to stop moving, both times it's come up with a turnover. And, it's a good strategy. Once again, they didn't chase the quarterback around. They contained him, forced him to settle his feet, and then pressure finally caught up with him.
Yeah, and that little slip on the wet turf really cost him a chance to get those feet out of Oldham County from the eye. They give to the fullback. That's Y'all. And gang tackling. Iroquois right there to make the stop. Number 20, Malik Lewis, the middle linebacker, coming in there. And it'll be, let's see if they'll mark him at the line of scrimmage or not. Going to mark him right at the 26. So actually going to give him a little bit of forward progress, although not much.
And Mike, just to note, James Harding is back in the game, so obviously not anything serious that he was having looked at over here on the sideline.
Still concerned that he's having to run 25 yards to the coach and 25 yards back to get every single play.
Back to throw. Hart throws underneath. Pass is complete. That time that was Tucker, who's brought down near the 20.
Now that was the first time he's been able to stop. And even though he didn't get to step into his throw, that was all arm when he threw that one because he did have a man falling at his feet. But that was the first time that he's really been able to come back and set before he got rid of the football.
James Hardy does look like he's running a little tender-footed right now, though. Every time he runs to and from the coach, he has a very visible limp.
Harding 3 out of 5 passing for 67 yards. Of course, that average boosted way up by that big 52-yarder. 2 wide to the left for the Colonels. High backfield behind Harding. Pitches back to Henry, running to the left. Has some blockers, cuts it upfield, inside the 15, drags some people down to the 10, inside the 10, and down at the 8-yard line.
Pretty good read by Saunders. That was No, I'm sorry. Who was that?
Henry.
Jason Henry. Pretty good read by Henry that time. A lot of times a running back will get in a hurry back in the backfield and won't let the play develop out in front of him. That time he kind of slowed down, took his time. The blocking developed out in front of him. He was able to cut it back towards the middle of the field and get a pretty good gain.
Well, it was a pitch. Clearly it was going outside, and Iroquois is fast. And they got there quickly, and then he just cut back against the grain there. And a lot of times a fast team will over-pursue.
Henry this time trying the left side of the line. Not a whole heck of a lot there. Might have gained a yard. Henry now already, let's see, with 7 carries tonight. Struggling early, but has 20 yards on his last 3 carries, so starting to find some running room out there. 2nd and goal. Harding, play action. Fires to the end zone and
caught.
Trey Tucker turned on a burst of speed to run to the back corner of the end zone, and it's a touchdown, Oldham County. Harding, an 8-yarder to Trey Tucker.
You know, I actually thought Harding overthrew Alan Farrell.
I did too.
Well,
that's what I thought.
That's exactly what happened. If you watch, his arm actually got hit as he was throwing the ball, which caused him, to get rid of it a little bit quicker than he wanted to, which it went over Hardy's head. And nice, but terrific job by the receiver to stay with that football, though, knowing that it was still up for grabs and
Harding
to stay in bounds.
He took a big shot there.
He did.
He is Oldham County football on the Pegasus Sports Network. Well, Mike Schatzer told me before. He said, we want to pass when we want to, not when we have to. so far tonight. Maybe a little more passing than the Oldham County coaches want. 10 runs, 7 passing plays, but they score on a pass play.
Well, and you got to take what they're going to give you. And if they're not going to give you what you want between the tackles, give it to them in the air.
And it worked, and the Colonels lead 6-3. Iroquois now will start with pretty decent field position after a nice little run back there.
And a great tackle by his teammate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That may have been the hit of the night so far.
Iroquois 1st and 10 at their own 33.5-yard line, going from left to right for those of you listening to our radio broadcast here.
So I'm pretty sure that the Oldham County defensive backs have determined that throwing the ball is not going to be much of a threat, because unless they come out with a lot of receivers, they're essentially running a 4-4.
Handoff into the line this time. It's like Jackson. Let's see if we catch the number as he gets up here. And that was Jackson. Small gain, just a little over a yard maybe. Let's call it 2nd and a long 8 for the Raiders. Ball at their own 36-yard line.
All of a sudden, Iroquois now starting to slow it down a little bit on offense. They had the success early in the no huddle and coming up to the line, and now all of a sudden they're starting to huddle before every play.
Two wide left, one to the right from the shotgun. Saunders going to hand off. No, he's going to fake the handoff. Tries to take it himself into the line on the option keeper, and he's going to get it out to about the 39, but not able to break it away. Oldham County did a really good job of plugging all the holes there. Nose of the ball right at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Colonels with a 3-point lead. One of the few games that's actually gotten underway here tonight on a night filled with a lot of lightning. Saunders again in the shotgun. Has the ball, tucks it, run play, going to take it around the right side, and he is met and dropped.
So I think that's the 3rd time we've seen on 3rd and 5 or more that they snapped it to the quarterback and said, go run the ball. And Oldham County knows. I mean, they were in a 4-4 that time. On 3rd and 5, they were in a 4-4. So, I mean, they were aware of what their intention was.
Brian Barmanji in there to make the initial stop. And on 4th down, Iroquois will punt the ball away.
Well, we keep harping on it, but sometimes, as a play caller, you overthink it. Just do what's working. Until they can prove that they can stop it, just go out and do it.
This is a interesting punt set.
It's a rugby-style punt he's going to throw out here.
Axtell is deep for Oldham County, staying on his own 25.
No.
20-yard punt.
Going to take an Iroquois bounce. Axtell grabs at it, and Oldham County very fortunate as the ball was knocked away, but it was saved there by the Colonels, taken by number 43. That's Alex McIntosh, who saves the day for Oldham County, and the Colonels will have it 1st and 10.
A couple of coaches grabbing him on the sideline and saying, son, next time get away from the football.
You're absolutely right. And what you want to do when something like that happens to an athlete, and especially a decision that he had to make, you want to reinforce him making the good decision, not harp that he made the bad decision. Because you have to get him thinking positive again. So, you don't want to say, don't do that again. You want to say, hey, next time, just like you said, just stay away from that next time.
Oldham County will have it at their own 26, 5:23 showing here in the first half. Colonels will send 3 wide to the right side as Harding comes out in the shotgun. He'll give it to Henry. Takes it to the left side, and Iroquois not fooled at all. And very quickly to the football as Henry maybe got a yard, maybe a yard and a half. waiting for him to spot it. They'll spot it at the 27, so give him just a yard. Yeah. Henry's touched the ball more than anybody else tonight. It's obvious Oldham County would like to make him that workhorse, but Iroquois' team speed tonight has just not made that possible.
And at the left tackle position, Jonathan Quinnan, I was looking at that last play, and he just had great protection there. He took two guys and kept them both at bay. But the last run play, and I looked, he's a big boy. I'd love to see on paper how big he is. I mean, from here, 6'2", 280.
Hey, I would say that's probably about right, yeah.
But he was 8 yards upfield on that last run play. I mean, he was looking for a safety. He was devouring people. And again, on that pass play, he did a really good job, kept his feet moving, and it looked like he bench pressed two people, held him at bay. He's and his hands aren't his hips. He doesn't look tired at all.
Johnson's a great kid. He's got a great attitude. If he keeps maturing, he's going to be a solid one. Back to throw. Harding throws, has a man. There's a flag down. Probably going to be a hold at the line. Pass is complete. Well shy of the first down. Iroquois may just take the play on this one.
Harding just no opportunity to get back and get set.
The catch was made by number 28, Mark Reynolds. He's a senior wideout. But I think we're going to take this play, I would think. Let's see.
Yeah, on the Iroquois team, you had 51, Aaron Webster. Looks like the one, he was the guy that was held. He was sitting on his butt facing the opposite direction. You can assume he was pinwheeled on some way. That's never good.
So Reynolds with a 3-yard reception, not nearly enough. Oldham County's going to have to punt this one away. Alan Farrow on for the punt, standing in his own 17-yard line. Trying to pick up the number of the Iroquois return man. And we can't make out his number yet. Here is the kick.
That was a nice punt.
And the ball over the head. Was it touched? It's a loose ball and retrieved by Iroquois before he goes out of bounds at about the 27. The Raiders saving it there. That was number 17, Matt how do you pronounce this? Bizimana is how it looks.
That's what I went with.
Yeah, we do apologize. Usually we get the pronunciations right of the home team, but it's sometimes hard on visitors. Bizimana coming in and able to save that before it goes out of bounds. Chance to redeem yourself there. Instead of being the GOAT on the play, ends up being the hero. And Iroquois will have it 1st and 10 at their own 27. Saunders goes under center. Has the ball, pitches it back. Jackson in traffic is driven to the ground. A nice tackle there. Coming in there for Oldham County. It's a new number here for me here tonight. Caleb Ayers, I believe.
I thought it was number 31.
I thought it was 34, VR.
68 was the one who was the final one to tackle him there.
So we all saw 3 different numbers.
So I thought 31 was in the backfield and got contained.
Yeah.
At least that's what I saw, but I don't see a 31 on roster. So.
Well, the final tackle was Caleb Ayers, but there was, of course, he wasn't the only guy in the neighborhood. Iroquois jersey is getting harder to read. Saunders hit as he throws. It's going to be a short pass, and it's caught.
Wow.
Wow, through the hands of Oldham County's Carson Axtell, and somehow Jordan Ritchie comes down with it. One of the smallest guys on the field at 5'8", 160 pounds. The junior wideout simply out-jumped Axtell, who jumped a little early.
So, what we saw again was Carson Axtell was looking at the quarterback. And so the quarterback threw the ball, and he was looking at the ball. What you have to, as a defensive back, always turn towards the receiver. You can see the ball, you can see the receiver. You turn away, you can only see the ball. And that's what happened.
Saunders, little jump pass, is fumbled away and not complete. He's had his man there. Looked like he was going to be able to haul it in, but unable to come down with the reception. It'll be 2nd down and 10. That was Tariq Sharif, 5'6", 125-pound sophomore wideout. Second down for Iroquois. Raider Wolves 5-5 last year, had a pretty solid year, and Mark Sanders last year as the head man there. Trying to get off to a good start here in 2014, but Oldham County on top 6-3 early. Saunders going to tuck it under. Inside the 40 to the 35. He'll get the first down and more. More real estate inside the 20. Still running inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds at about the 7 or 8 yard line.
Well, I think a couple of Colonel defenders thought he was going to go down easily or run out of bounds on the sideline. Instead, he lowers the shoulder and gains about another 10 yards.
You know, they teach you this in rugby. This is something they actually don't teach you much in football. You do not and you cannot tackle someone with your shoulder or your head. You tackle them by initiating with your shoulder and head, and then you wrap them and pull them to the ground. And we just saw Oldham County players just running and flailing their shoulders into them as if though that was going to somehow bring them to the ground.
We're going to get a timeout on the field here now. Iroquois, they'll have first and goal inside the Oldham County 10. 2:39 to play here in the first half. We'll take a timeout as well. This is Oldham County football on the Pegasus Sports Network. Welcome back to Oldham County High School. Iroquois knocking on the door. They've got a first and goal now inside the Oldham County 10, and now the officials are going to stop play. It's going to be a timeout, Oldham County. So the Colonels taking their second timeout of the first half. As Rick Young and company want to talk about it. Got to look at what Iroquois' formation was going to look like, and they take a quick timeout. They'll pull the defense to the side of the field. You know, right now as we look back here at this first half, Scott, Iroquois really capitalized on the quick hitters. Stuff between the tackles, using their team speed. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try something like that here.
Well, I mean, you would think that would be the case, but
it's been their money play.
But every time we've seen something work for them, they seem to go out of that and go away from it in the next play. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. That's certainly a run, outside or to the middle. You would think would be the play here for them, but. Every time we say that, the quarterback gets the ball, and it looks like an option play.
Of course, at this stage of the game, keep in mind these coaches really don't know what's going to work. I mean, this is the first game of the year, and they're still trying to get a feel for just how good their team can run different plays. One wide out for Iroquois. That's to the right side. Power eye backfield. They take it straight up the gut. The ball's fumbled in the end zone, but he's already scored, and Iroquois will take the lead at 9-3.
Wow, that looked like a false start on the receiver.
Yes, it sure did.
And the ref was right there next to it. I think all four of us saw that.
Except for the ref.
Yeah, other than him.
Iroquois will be going for the extra point here. Chance to make it a... Still nothing on the scoreboard. There's the scoreboard. Okay, scoreboard a little slow there.
Oh, here we go with the crazy extra points again.
Yeah, the
what do they call? They look a little confused.
The old
swinging gate. Yep. Yeah, if they did that in the 1970s when I was in high school. Iroquois on with the extra kick here. This is
what is going on?
Iroquois very confused right now.
Well, and Iroquois actually broke the huddle with 12 athletes on the field, and the refs just kind of let the other one run off. But
Ismail's kick is good.
12, right?
No, you can't break the huddle.
You're not
with
supposed
12.
to be able to break the huddle with 12. No.
Yeah, because someone backpedaled back over to the sideline, but the huddle was clearly broke because they were already in that formation.
2:34 to go here in the first half, and Iroquois up 10-6 now after Ismail boots through the extra point.
A lot of times, something I've noticed with the Oldham County defensive backs is they think because they're in zone, they're guarding grass. And it's really hard to explain to an athlete that, yes, you're in zone, you're responsible for this area. but you need to stick on the deepest man in your area, period. You're not guarding grass because then you're in no man's zone. And you're seeing that someone's saying, well, I'm responsible for my third. No, you're responsible for the man in your third is exactly what you're responsible for.
Well, the problem that I've run into coaching, because it's the same thing in basketball, no different, right? A 2-3 zone, it's all the same concept. Somebody does come, and then they pay attention to that man. Then they get locked on that man and forget about their third. They'll follow him into somebody else's zone and leave their zone wide open.
But the last thing you want them to do is stand in their zone and stare at the quarterback. Because at least if they attach onto the man in their zone, they're taking away an option. If you're standing there, you're not taking away an option.
Oldham County will get the ball with 2:34 left here in the half, trailing 10-6. Iroquois' kick goes to Hennings, takes it at the 11. Over the 20, 25, has a little room here. 30, breaks a tackle to the 35 and falls forward to the 37. So a nice run back by Parker Hennings.
I'd like to see him carry that thing a little tighter.
Yeah.
I went down to the sideline, and I'm still kind of winded from it, to chit-chat with one of the coaches. When I was coming back up, a lot of the Oldham County student section started saying, hey, it's the bobsled dude. That's a lot better than the concession stand guy, because I've been to the concession stand 3 times. So I'll take that as a compliment, I guess.
1st and 10, Oldham County. Harding in the shotgun now. 2 wide right, 1 to the left. Hands it off to Henry. Bounces off his own blocker and breaks into the free. Loses the ball, and Iroquois got it. Iroquois comes up with it at their own 48-yard line. That was Jonte Watkins trailing the play, and he comes up with the loose ball.
Well, you've seen that several times from Iroquois tonight. They really don't try to tackle. They try to strip the football. That's what happened a little bit earlier on the long pass play that the Colonels had. That you made the comment they're dragging him the wrong way. But what they're doing, they were holding him up and trying to strip that football, and this time it worked.
Yeah, that was the longest run of the game for Oldham County, a 15-yard gain for Jason Henry. Unfortunately, it ends with a fumble. That's 4 lost fumbles for these two teams tonight. Maybe a little bit the wet conditions, a little bit the first game jitters. Power on. There's a fumble on the handoff, or on the snap rather. Saunders picks it up, gets ground. Oldham County's going to chase him down and brings him down at the 36-yard line.
So it gets interesting now at 2nd and 22, and there's 2 minutes left on the clock. Does Oldham County start trying to call timeout and try and get the ball back and score before half, or are they okay going into halftime, being down 6-10?
Well, with only one timeout left, yeah.
Oh, is that all they have now?
That's all they got left. Spencer Johnson with the sack that time, and
at some point, the Iroquois quarterback has to realize that he's going the wrong direction and get down. He made that worse and worse and worse for himself.
It's about 2nd down, 22, 23, and whistle. And delay of game against Iroquois. I've thought they've been flirting with that several times tonight, and now they get whistled for it.
So that stops the clock?
Stops the clock at 1:23 left, and now maybe you do think about using that timeout after this play, Dallas, now that the penalty stops the clock for you.
Yeah, I think so. And, what I would like to see Oldham County do is when they get in that shotgun set, keep their backs back there to protect the quarterback. I'd really like to see that because he hasn't thrown to the backs anyways. He's clearly looking downfield, give a little bit more time, hit some of those boys that are getting past your offensive line, hit them right in the belly button and give your quarterback a little bit more time to throw the ball downfield. If he has a Division I arm, let him try and use it when there's a minute left, right?
Sure.
It looks like they will not call the timeout.
105. 3rd down there after very little gain on that run play. 35-yard line, Iroquois.
They're going to have to snap this with about, 40 seconds or so?
Third down and about 18. They're showing 18 on the scoreboard. That's about right.
They're looking to throw this ball.
Saunders in the shotgun. Going to tuck it under quarterback draw. Takes it straight up ahead. Is brought down to the 41-yard line after a gain of about 6. And that'll stop the clock with 32.3 seconds left. As we will get, looks like Oldham County is going to take that final timeout right now. Timeout on the field, Oldham County, their final one of the first half. And they're going to force Iroquois to punt this ball away here with about a half minute left. Not a whole heck of a lot of time to work with here, guys. But, you know, hey, I like the call because close ball game. First game of the year, anything tends to happen and does.
Well, you can't take the timeout home with you, so you might as well leave it out on the field and hope something happens.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could get a blocked punt here. I mean, a fumbled snap. There's a lot of things that could go wrong.
Well, the ball's been on the ground an awful lot of times here in this first half, guys. It's not too far from the stretch of the imagination to think that we could see another one here on this punt play, and who knows? All kinds of potential opportunities present themselves. Back to return the punt, Parker Hennings. Ritchie is back for the punt. Boots it away. Tremendously long punt. Hennings will take it at the 19. Cuts it ahead, eludes a couple of defenders. 30 to the 40. Goes past a man. No, can't quite get past him at the 46-yard line. But a nice return in Oldham County with good field position. But only 19.6 seconds left here in the first half and no timeouts left.
Well, very good special teams blocking that time. Good cutback, good recognition. Started out coming to his right, comes to the near sideline, gets it up the sideline. Now 19 and a half seconds left. Couple of quick throws here to the end zone.
Office Max halftime report coming up here in just a matter of moments. Right now Harding brings his team to the line at the 46. Back to throw. Has time, has a man, and he caught it at the 18. Oldham will score. The Colonels in the end zone for almost at the final play of the half. They go 54 yards on the pass play to Carson Axtell, and the Colonels back on top.
And that's something we discussed literally about 9 seconds ago.
Yeah,
and we said wouldn't it be neat if they kept the running backs in to give them a little bit more time and let them use the Division I arm. We saw both running backs stay in. Gave him extra time. He got to sit in the pocket, and sure enough, he threw a 55-yard strike?
A beauty.
54-yarder officially comes with 11.1 seconds to play, and that's a second long bomb for Carson, who had that 52-yarder earlier.
And as much as Carson is still adjusting and learning on the defensive side of the ball, he's clearly made up for it on the offensive side of the ball.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you take that final timeout.
Absolutely. You have to pretend that any play is an opportunity for you to win a game.
2-point conversion try and incomplete. Harding's pass too deep into the end zone. And once again, Oldham County unable to come up with a conversion, but they now lead in this ball game 12-10 with 11.1 seconds left in the half.
8.5 seconds.
And it looks like James Harding's still limping pretty heavily on his left leg. But doesn't affect his arm.
His arm didn't seem to hurt too much.
Not at all.
He does have a bit of an arm there, and he really showed it to us that time. And, he hit Axtell right where it needed to be, put it right in his hands. So Oldham County back on top in this seesaw game. Colonels have scored 2 touchdowns in this frame, and they lead this one 12-10. A little late getting the last man on the field. Gonzalez, the kicker, will come out and boot it away.
Of course, another position that the Colonels have had to fill this year.
Well, yeah, and it's, kind of hard to fill. Last year's kicker position. That's a Sean Nurenberger, now kicking for the Ohio State University. Gonzalez tops it, takes a bounce, probably by design that time. And Squibb kicks it up the middle, and Iroquois will not be able to get any kind of serious return. They will get time for one more play here with 4.4 seconds left in the first half.
You know, that's another play call that I like. The Squibb kick there, because again, who knows? I mean, maybe it goes off of one of Iroquois players. And,
it's a great opportunistic play.
So coming in this game, we were pretty certain that Oldham County was going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And what we've seen so far is a couple 50-yard passes, upwards of 10, 11 attempts now.
Yeah.
So they're actually looking to be pretty balanced.
And oddly enough, neither of them have really been set up by the run.
No, the inability of the team to get much in the running game has made that difficult. And now Iroquois is going to take a timeout. So evidently the Raiders are interested in trying to make those final 4.4 seconds worth something. Well, they're a long way from the end zone, though, at their own 20.
Well, you know, Oldham County's got to be careful, though, because obviously Iroquois has the speed to get those receivers past the corners. So you have to keep everything up in front of you and make sure you take a good angle if they take the catch.
Absolutely.
Or if they make the catch
well,
to make
in
the tackle.
Dallas, you can remember a few plays that Mike Jackson would run in a situation like this.
Absolutely. You know, and Coach Jackson was notorious for taking risk and kind of opening up the playbook, if you will. And you know, and a lot of times he would let, you know, example, Coach Hawkins, the special teams coach, let him be creative. And you know, we had reverses, we had the blooming onion, we had the throwback pass, and we scored at least one touchdown on each of those trick plays on a kickoff return.
You're going to need to tell people what the blooming onion was.
Yeah, so all the backs on the kickoff return, basically when the ball is kicked, one person catches it, they all come together like a huddle, and they all split out of the huddle like a blooming onion, and they pretend they all have the ball. So it's pretty neat. The kickoff team gets pretty confused.
It was fun to watch. Play action pass. Saunders going to take off with it, bounces it to the outside. He's got the first down, and the clock is ticked down to 0 as he is wrestled to the ground at about the 33-yard line. Gain of about 13 on the final play. But as we head to the halftime locker room, it's the Oldham County Colonels under first-year man Mike Schatzer that lead on the scoreboard. It's Oldham County 12, Iroquois 10. Time for the Office Max halftime report. We'll be back right after this. 12-10, your halftime score here in Buckner at Oldham County's Bell Field. A lot later than we normally are doing halftime. Normally at 10:30, we're doing the post-game wrap-up. Tonight, it's the halftime show brought to you by Office Max. Remember, at Office Max, your success is our business. Along with Scott Jaggers, I'm Mike Montgomery, and our special guest announcer, Dallas Robinson. And guys, it definitely looked like a first game of the season. The ball was all over the place. We had 4 lost fumbles. We didn't have many first downs, only 7 first downs between the two teams. But there were some exciting plays. And maybe not necessarily what we expected to see. Dallas, you talked about the fact we were looking for this Oldham County team to come out here and just kind of grind the ball. Although the Colonels have tried to run the ball a lot, 13 carries in the first half, not very successful on the ground, just 27 net yards, but they've been surprisingly effective through the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it seems like they're willing to adjust to their strengths, or they're willing to adjust to what other teams giving them, and you have to do that to win ball games. You come in with a game plan, but after a few series, you find out what they're giving you. You have to adjust, you have to adapt, and you know, looking at Oldham County right now, I really like what I see. They have each of their individual position coaches broken up, huddling with their individual teams. So rather than just a coach addressing the entire team, you have he did so, and then now they're breaking up and individually game planning on what each of them can do better, or the adjustments they're going to make. And I really like what I see, and it shows that they're going to make adjustments.
And folks saw during the commercial break there that this is one fired up Oldham County team. That was James Harding leading the cheering out there. He is, you know, that's what you like to see though as a coach, is somebody stepping up and becoming a vocal leader.
Well, and the way he has played here tonight, the way he has thrown the ball, you certainly like to see that out of your starting quarterback. It's not always your quarterback that ends up being the leader on the team, but in some ways I think it's better, especially, if he can come out his first, true game where he's, we talked about he played last year, but this is really his team now.
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
I would think so.
And so when he comes out like that and he does show that leadership like he's showing here at halftime, I think the other players see that, and we'll see how they respond to it.
6 of 9 passing, 1 touchdown, 132 yards. I said 1 touchdown. I'm sorry, 2 touchdowns. Through an 8-yarder to Trey Tucker and a 54-yarder to Carson Axtell. The coaches told us about that Division I arm. We've gotten to see it a couple times tonight.
Well, and hopefully they learned a little something from his last touchdown pass. Dallas talked about it earlier, bringing those 2 backs in for that extra protection. So hopefully they saw that, and they'll continue to do that. Obviously, you don't want to do that every play, because then you get a little bit too predictable. But if you need a big play, you remember that. You put your 2 backs back there, giving a little bit of extra time, let him get his set so he can step into the throw. Obviously, he can be accurate with it.
Absolutely. And, what is he throwing? 3 incomplete passes so far?
Yeah, 6 of 9 passing.
And we would probably say all but one of those passes he was hit, either while releasing or immediately after releasing. So it shows that, I think he can deal with the pressure. But given time, in just an extra second, you're going to, 50-some-odd yard ball down the sideline, but right on the money. And, he looks a little dinged up. Obviously, his spirits are good, but he is he's limping a little bit. And, you got to protect your quarterback. And if that means that you're going to have one less option downfield, and you got to have a back in there taking a shot for him, then you got to protect him.
And if that's the way you're going to have to play this season, if your offensive line doesn't progress, then so be it, like Dallas said, but come up with some different plays from that same formation. Keep those 2 backs back there, but run a cross route, bring a kind of a reverse off of it on motion. So something to kind of mix it up so you don't become that predictable.
Guys, Iroquois started this game really kind of pushing Oldham County around in the trenches. Got some little bit of daylight on the line and used their team speed to move the ball. Struggled to take advantage of those early advantages and get much points on the board. They got that early field goal to take the early lead. But then really late in the first half, needed a couple of really big plays and a little bit of luck on that long pass play to end up getting that second touchdown.
Well, yeah. It was luck, I guess, in a sense, but it was good clock management by the coaching staff. I'm trying to process the first half of this game because it's been very sloppy.
Yeah.
And how much of it is luck? How much of it is the defense? How much of it is the offense? You're still trying to figure out. So I have a hard time calling it luck right now. But I understand where you're coming from.
Well, I tell you, I did think that Oldham County made some adjustments defensively that caused Iroquois some problems.
Yes.
I thought they took advantage of things that they were doing well early, the containment that made it difficult for Saunders. I thought that they did a pretty good job defending when Iroquois did throw the ball. I thought that when I say luck, that one deep pass, it was not a great pass, but in the end, the receiver made a better one-on-one play or better play on the ball than the defender did, and when probably he didn't deserve to get it, but he did get it because of some good effort on his part. But all in all, I thought as the half went on, I would have to give Oldham's defense better grades than Iroquois' offense.
I would, talked about this some before. This coach has had a few weeks to implement his strategies, his playbook, and essentially everything. And it does seem as if, though, the Oldham County team is learning as they play. Well, and he hasn't had returners. He hasn't had people that are familiar with the system. And so we are seeing either a better conditioned or, Oldham County team or an Oldham County team that's just learning as they go.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong here. Iroquois with a new coach as well, it's easier to implement a defense quicker than an offense. So I think that's where you're seeing the difference. You both had short times. It's much easier to get your defense on the same page than your offense. And so I think that's really where you're seeing the difference between the two teams here in the first half.
Have you also noticed, though, that Iroquois is very comfortable snapping the ball to an athlete and saying, hey, make the decision out there, as in where Oldham County has a very specific plan for the play. And in that, you see pretty darn good preparation, and you don't see confusion on what am I supposed to do when I get this ball. Was I supposed to run? Was I not supposed to run? The Oldham County coach has taken control of that.
Well, that seems to be a new way that football has gone in the past, 7 or 8 years. Put your best athlete at quarterback, snap him the ball, and let him make a play. Not only at the high school level, the college level is going that way as well. Even at some point, the NFL with the it's starting to kind of go back away from a little bit now. But at one point, it was the read option every play.
Sure.
And it's your best athlete.
I would take a great mind and a decent athlete.
I agree.
And especially with on this level, an athlete's going to take you pretty far. But at some point, your ability to make decisions on the fly as a 17-year-old on a football field, you're going to make some poor decisions if you're just giving a ball and saying, hey, either throw or run in some general direction, try and go forward. And perhaps that's why we've seen so many fumbles.
Well, and in truth, of course, the conditions tonight, everything's a little bit slick, a little bit wet. That hasn't helped things, and it is the first game of the year also. But it has been a night when things have been a little bit interesting, and with a 2-point ball game, you're still in that interesting mode here, guys. So if you're the head coaches, what's the primary things you're telling your team here at the half?
Well, personally, I would if I were the Oldham County coach, I would point out everything that we did good, and not focus on what we didn't do that was good out there, because we're already aware of it. You've already been to the sideline, or you've already been talked to. You've made your individual adjustments, but continue to look at the scoreboard and say, hey guys, we're up 12-10, but I think we can be up a whole lot more by the end of this game. And on the Iroquois side, I would look at what I was doing in the first quarter and try to duplicate that and go back to what was working. And they were getting, 4 or 5 yards of carry just on simple handoffs before they started calling pass option plays, and they were getting stuck with 20-yard losses or potential turnovers. And that would be the route I would go. I would tell Oldham County to continue to build on what you're doing. And on the Iroquois side, I would say, hey guys, we had some good going. Let's get back to it. Sorry I left that.
All right, 12-10, Oldham County on top by 2. We'll be back with the second half in just a minute right here on the Pegasus Sports Network. Gonzalez with a kickoff here to start the second half. His little squib kick up the middle. Iroquois is going to get it out over their own 40-yard line, and that is where they will take it 1st and 10. One half is in the books, 12-10, Oldham County with the lead. Along with Scott Jaggers and Dallas Robinson, I'm Mike Montgomery. Glad to have you here with us on a Friday night. High school football back in action here in north central Kentucky. Oldham County trying to improve on that 2-9 campaign last year under first-year coach Mike Schatzer. Right now, winning the ball game as they go on defense to start the second half. Saunders at quarterback for Iroquois. High snap. Hands off to his running back coming around the end. Has the first down and more. Plows into Oldham County territory down at the 40-yard line. That was number 17, Matt Bizimana, Bizimana, a senior, 5'10", 195-pounder. Plays wide out, running back, defensive back, drives the team bus, and makes the team dinners. They'll put him in a number of places on the field. Right now he's split wide to the right side. Iroquois with 3 wides that way, 2 to the left. Saunders all alone in the backfield in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Put a man in motion. They'll fake the end. Oh, they did hand off on the end around, going around the right side, and another good gainer. This time it was Jackson, and he's hauled down by Oldham County's number 88, and that is Jake Littlefield, junior defensive end.
Iroquois going back to the hurry-up offense now.
Which was what was working in the first quarter. And they're running the ball. They're making a decisive decision. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna use our speed. We're gonna get to the outside.
Second down 3 after the 7-yard gain. This time Saunders rolling to his left. Gonna throw deep.
Oh,
and
man.
it's going to be a very obvious interference call against Oldham County in the end zone here.
Yeah, it looked like they were in a full-on WWF wrestle match out there. I don't even think the ball was within 10 yards, though.
The defender and the receiver got locked up, and long before the ball even got there, the receiver was on the ground. And that's going to be, like I said, a pretty easy call for the official to make. Penalty against Oldham County will give Iroquois the first down on the penalty. Right now, Oldham County is just thankful that ball isn't placed where the NFL would place it, which would be on the 1-yard line. In high school in Kentucky, that's worth 15 yards, though, and Iroquois will have it in the red zone at the 19. Raider Wolves moving quickly here on this first possession of the second half. 10:35 on the scoreboard here, third quarter. Boy, some of these numbers are just so hard to read for Iroquois. Saunders in the shotgun. Has man in motion again. Gives it to Jackson running around the right side. Has some room. Jackson is going to get drugged down by the last man who had a shot at him there. As coming up to make the stop for Oldham County was Will Jennings, the senior defensive back. Otherwise, that's 6.
So Oldham County has to make an adjustment. Obviously, that's 3 times they've ran that play. 3 times they've gained almost 15 yards. You either have to start telling your defensive ends to get upfield and force them to bubble around, or you got to have your outside linebackers go ahead and move up a little bit. Once they see that motion, the side it's motioning to, have that outside linebacker come. That, you're essentially saying, come at me at that point once you start seeing them come towards you.
First and goal, Iroquois. Ball at about the 5-yard line now. Saunders in the shotgun. There's the motion. They fake it that way. Saunders is going to try to take it himself, and he's dropped in the backfield. Good penetration. Oldham County. It's Ian Fullerton coming in off the line to make the tackle.
And again, Dallas, it goes back to what's been working for you, and then all of a sudden you put it back in the quarterback's hands to make a decision, and he doesn't make the correct decision. It blows my mind. I mean, I guess that, as an offensive coordinator, sometimes, again, they just overthink it.
Yeah, and I also think it's a lot easier from a coach on the sideline to make that decision than it is you make a split-second decision at this age. As far as what to do with the ball based upon the 21 other people you have running around you.
Ball's loose on the ground. Saunders goes back and picks it up. He's going to go down. A big loss all the way back at the 19, and Iroquois decidedly in reverse now after 2 bad plays.
Yeah, I mean, 2 great breaks for Oldham County. It looks like there's a player down on the field. And it looks like...
And it's an Oldham County player, but I'm not sure I can make out the number from here.
Yeah, like 68 or 88.
I think it's Fullerton, the defensive lineman. He's on his back. He's moving his feet, so that's certainly a good sign.
Yeah, he actually rolled over. He was on his kind of side to begin with and rolled over.
And now getting up with a little help from the trainer, and he's going to come off on his own power. So that's good news for the Oldham County fans. Fullerton has played a pretty good ball game here tonight. I've thought he, obviously as the play-by-play guy, I'm watching the ball, and I don't always get to see the action on the line, but I've been pretty impressed by what he's done on the defensive line here tonight from what I've seen.
Looks like he's kind of opening and closing his fist there. Something must have got his hand caught either in a face mask or a jersey or stepped on. Something to that effect.
3rd and goal now for Iroquois at the Oldham County 19. They kicked a 33-yard field goal earlier, so they're just about in range here, may already be in range. Saunders all alone, has all his wideouts to the right. He's going to tuck it and run and not going to pick up much of anything. Ball's fumbled, picked up by the Raiders, and not a heck of a lot going to happen there for number 17. That's Matt Bizimana, and it'll be 4th down and goal for Iroquois at the 17.5.
Actually, a good heads up by a couple of the Colonels players there, realizing that play wasn't dead because he was kind of almost on the ground when he fumbled the ball backwards right to his teammate who picked it up and started to run with it. Colonels realizing the play wasn't dead yet and able to make the tackle.
Now, I'm kind of, well, let's see here. They are going to go for the field goal here. So Bizimana will be the holder. Your kicker here looks like is Aiden Ismail. 5'11 senior, already has a 33-yarder. This would be a 35-yarder. Straight on kicker is blocked. And that was for Oldham County, Spencer Adams, who came through and got the block. It goes into the end zone for the touchback.
You're right. It would have been a live ball, except it crossed the goal line. It crossed the goal line, which was a touchback.
Gotcha.
But had he stepped a yard outside of the end zone, that was still a live ball because it never got blocked. I don't think it just rolled up there,
and no one else was looking at it.
Right.
I mean, it was just him and sideline at that point.
Looked like Adams, number 54, Spencer Adams, coming through to make the block there for Oldham County. That ball didn't get a lot of altitude very quickly anyway.
And it was a bad snap. I mean,
it was a bad snap.
Yeah, it was a very bad snap.
And if by not a lot of altitude, you mean about a foot.
Yeah. Harding from the shotgun, hands it to Henry. Up the middle, has some running room over the 25 to the 26-yard line, and a good first down play for OC. That's been a problem in the first half, guys. They haven't done well on first down, but now looking at 2nd and 4.
Well, and this is what I was going to say when we were discussing options when you have 2 backs with you and you're sitting in the shotgun. And I was going to say, yes, they're there to block on a pass play, or they're there to go on a screen route, so on and so forth, but it sets up a draw.
Sure. Under 4 per carry. Has definitely gotten things going a little better after those first 4 carries when he netted 0 yards. Since then, 7 carries for 43 yards. Not too bad. Looks like Farrow and Tucker wide to the right side for the Colonels. Axtell to the left. High snap. Harding brings it down, but he's sacked hard in the backfield. Bizimana came through hard and nailed him at the 15.
Yeah, that was a face mask right to the sternum, bear hug, and drop to the ground. That was a form tackle right there.
And the bad thing is his hands were up above his head. So he's almost just waiting for it there. No chance to protect himself at all as he was still trying to cradle the ball out of the air.
2 sacks on the night for Iroquois, and Oldham County is going to have to punt this one away. If a low line drive kick, it'll take an Oldham bounce. Goes into Iroquois territory. Ritchie reverses his field, gives ground. Oldham County is going to corral him and take him down at the 44-yard line. Ritchie gave up about... he got it up to the 50 and then gave ground about 5 or 6 yards, and Iroquois will start at the 45. And what is it about every return man at whatever level he is? They all think they can break the big one every time.
I think instinctively you run away from the people chasing you.
Yeah.
And you don't run to them. So instinctively, he sees 11 guys coming at him. He doesn't want to go towards them. He thinks, hey, look, it's there's green grass over there. That's where I'm going to go.
Saunders in the shotgun, retreats, pumps, fires, and complete. Pretty good coverage there by Oldham County's Carson Axtell, but the The pass is complete for about 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 and into Oldham County territory at the 46-yard line.
Well, it looked like there was a colonel in the backfield, and they hesitated just a moment, and it was just enough time for them to get rid of the football.
You know, something I've noticed on both sidelines is that you don't have many people pedaling around, behind the line, not paying attention. Yeah. On both sides, they're very engaged, which shows that they have some identity and that they really care about the outcome of this game. And it's it's really hard to sometimes get enough starters or underclassmen to focus on the game as much as they should if they're not playing.
Handoff up the middle will be enough for the first down. Boy, I tell you guys, it sure looked like the wideout on this side. Isaiah Phillips, it sure looked like he was lined up off sides.
Yeah, I think he has a little him and the ref have a side deal because he jumped earlier. They didn't say anything, and I think they definitely have a side deal going on. One of those Chick-fil-A sandwiches over there.
That's one of those deals where the referee accidentally says yes, you're on sides, and then don't want to throw the flag.
Yeah, you're probably right because they do check with the ref over there.
First, and it bounce it back to Saunders. Saunders takes it out to the left side, has some running room. He's got the first down and more inside the Oldham County 30 down to the 29-yard line. So what looked like a busted play instead ends up in a gain of 15 and another Iroquois first down.
Of course, that's the other advantage of having your best athlete as your quarterback. When there is a busted play like that, they can make something happen.
Absolutely.
Well, certainly the scouting report on Iroquois has been spot on. We were told they would keep the ball in the hands of the quarterback as much as possible, and that's been the story of the game for them. 1st and 10. Iroquois has 5 first downs this period after only getting 4 in the first half. 1st and 10, Saunders from the shotgun. And movement all over the place as confusion on the Iroquois side will result in a 5-yard penalty. Oh, yeah, everybody. He was trying to communicate to his receiver, got his receiver in motion finally, and half the line stood up. Oldham County in the first half, 27 net yards on the ground on 13 carries. Harding threw for 132 yards. But here in the second half, well, they've only run 3 plays, and they've run them for -2 yards. Iroquois controlled the clock. They still trail 12-10. But inside Oldham territory now. 1st and 15. Man in motion. Saunders hands off to his receiver. Running around the right side. Ritchie looking for help and can't find any. Sees lots of Oldham County blue and he goes down.
So what I noticed is exactly what I said. For Iroquois, when they're running that jet motion, they're having success. And Oldham County needs to make an adjustment. They came to the sideline, and when they saw that jet motion, the entire linebacker crew all shifted down as a single slot. So they were prepared to meet it with the outside linebacker. They contained it that time, and they went nowhere. So clearly the coaches are willing to adjust and willing to evolve with the game and not just expect the kids to recognize it, but the entire linebacking core was on the same page there, and that was really neat to see.
Ian Fullerton a little slow getting up that time, but gets back up, heads back to the huddle. 2nd down and about 16 now. Saunders in the shotgun, has it, retreats. Looks, now tries a little jump pass over the middle. It's complete to the 30, to the 25, and down there, gang tackled at actually about the 26-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Now, as much as Iroquois likes for the quarterback to run the ball, it would be very easy at that point if you see the Oldham County linebacking crew all adjusting to fake the jet sweep and then just roll out and run either some type of bootleg or something on the backside, because there shouldn't be a linebacker waiting there for it because they went with the jet sweep. So they just need to be careful of that, and honestly, the outside linebackers should stay out there to contain.
And if I'm the offensive coordinator for Iroquois, that play right there, I probably would have ran some kind of fake because the previous play, you're right, all the linebackers shifted. Why not try it again on a fake and see if you can't get a bootleg on the other side?
Absolutely.
Saunders, 3rd down and 7. Throwing And it's going to be short, and it's going to be picked. Oldham County will pick it off at about the 2-yard line. And I believe that was Austin Snell back there who came down with it. And Snell got the inside position, just waited on the ball. The pass was underthrown, and Oldham County has it.
Yeah, that was really good coverage. And, he eventually turned away from his receiver, but he did so to box him out. And that's the only time you want to turn away from your receivers, when you're going to box them out. Otherwise, you want to turn into them.
And later that time.
Yes.
The ball was almost there by the time he turned around and boxed him out.
Well, he identified who the ball was going to first before he just chased the ball around. And that's what we haven't seen on the other side.
1:45 to go here in the third. Harding brings his offense out. They'll have to start on their own 2-yard line here. One back behind Harding. That's Henry deep in his own end zone. Harding will keep it himself, try to get a little bit of space there, and he gets it out to the 3 or 4-yard line.
I like the play call that time. In the shadow of your own goal line, if you will. The way the ball's been bouncing all over the ground tonight, just take a good clean snap and grab a couple of yards. Give yourself a little bit of room.
And once again, I saw number 75, Jonathan Queenan, I think, lift his entire opponent off the ground, carry him 3 to 4 yards back, and then nicely lay him on the turf.
Kind of reminds you of
I don't know if nicely. I don't know.
The Blind Side, the movie.
Absolutely.
Where were you taking him?
And right
Gives the tailback, and there's Henry. Bounces off a defender and has the first down all the way out to the 15. 10 yards on the gain and an Oldham County first down.
We're going to have a late flag here, Mike. I'm going to guess it's going to be a late hit against the Colonels.
Once again, though, even on that play, Jonathan Queenan pushed his guy back, walled the entire defensive line off, and allowed the other running back go to the secondary and snag a linebacker, and tons of running room directly behind Jonathan Queenan. What was the call?
It's going to be a late hit, but it came after the play, so it's going to be it'll still be the first down for Oldham County. They're just going to give up almost all the real estate that they've earned here. It's going to back it up to looks like they're going to park it at about the 9-yard line.
It should be about the 7.5 or so, because they were out to about the 15 on the run.
Yeah.
And then it'd be half the distance, right?
Yeah, you're right. It would end up being half the distance, so it has to be about 7.5. Kind of hard to see the 10-yard line there, so I can't hardly tell. 46 seconds here, 1st and 10. Harding hands off to his tailback. That's Henry into the line, over the 10 to about the 12. And a nice little gain of about 4 or 5 on first down.
Iroquois knew what was coming, and they honestly, all their linebackers came up, tried to fill in the seams. They ran directly behind Jonathan Queenan again.
Well, Oldham County has obviously figured out they can run behind him now.
Yes.
But Iroquois actually over-pursued a little bit, because there was one guy in the backfield that actually ran right past the ball carrier. And we talked about that with the quicker teams. They tend to do that on occasion.
And that's going to wrap up the third period. Oldham County will not run another play. At the end of 3, Oldham still up by 2. The Colonels lead this one 12-10. We'll be back on the Pegasus Sports Network. 11:05 as we move into the fourth period. Usually, we're about home on football nights at 11:05. Tonight we're starting the fourth quarter this time. Oldham County with the ball, looking at 2nd down and 5 deep in their own territory. They lead this game 12-10. Neither team able to punch any points. Guys, you got to think Iroquois got to be kicking themselves a little bit after that third period. Had a couple of opportunities, including one when they were deep inside the Oldham County red zone. Come away with no points.
Well, on the last drive, they kind of went away from what was working and decided to throw a little bit of a deep pass over on the left sideline, and ends up with an interception and a turnover.
And now a flag comes flying here before the snap.
So Oldham County did notice that obviously Iroquois is stacking the line, and it looks like they're changing up the snap count, and to kind of get them on their heels a little bit.
Well, they got him to commit the offside penalty, and that'll give Oldham County a first down by penalty. Oldham County with only 5 first downs by my count tonight. But they get one here, and that'll give them the ball out about the 17. First and 10. Under center, Harding. He'll give it to Henry. Tries the right side this time. Not a whole heck of a lot of room there. And he'll go down at about the 20.
Yep, need to get back on that left side.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think you run a little play action right there on the left side. And you should catch someone looking. I haven't seen them throw to a tight end yet, but if you could run a play action over on that side and just dump it right to the tight end, every linebacker should be staring right at Jonathan Quinn and whoever's running behind him.
You're just saying that because you were tight end.
And they'll give it to him again.
But they ran
here,
directly
and
behind
Henry
Jonathan
goes
Quinn.
right behind Queen, and he's very close to the first down now, out over the 25 to about the 26. They will mark him. He may have gotten it, guys.
Yeah, he's going to be close.
He did get it. They're going to give it to him. Say it, gain of 7. And Oldham County now beginning to do what Mike Jackson said he wanted to be able to do, and that is control the clock, play keep away, and grind the ball downfield. And right now that's exactly what the Colonels are doing. They have yet to throw a pass here in the second half.
Not Mike Jackson.
Did I say Mike Jackson?
You did.
I did. Well, Mike Jackson told me that just a long time ago. There's the pitch. Right side, Henry runs into the back of his blocker and gets knocked down at about the 28 after a gain of 1 or 2. Good Lord, I haven't called a Mike Jackson game in a long time.
Yeah, I think we need to figure out a way to do one this year. when do they play Oldham County?
Late this season.
Is it here or there?
It is. You got me caught off guard here on that. I'm gonna have to double check.
Sorry about that.
I want to say it's here, but I'm not sure about that.
That'd be a fun game, I think.
Second down and 9. Harding hands off to Henry again. Tries the right side, and they have him in the backfield. Well, Iroquois doing a bang-up job on the right side, getting the penetration. And again, Henry just not able to get the play never got started. He gets it out to the 29, maybe a half a yard gain, but that's about it.
Timeout.
All right, I'm gonna have to look that one up here just to double check here on the football bet. And they don't. I'll find it.
Well, here I'll give you a couple of scores while you look for it. Here, Cooper 12, Ryle 3. I believe that is a final. Russellville 22-6 over Trigg County. 2:32 left in the third quarter there. Wayne County 41-28 over Monroe County. I was actually looking for the one we saw earlier with Collins.
Yeah, Collins was getting beat pretty bad by Simon Kenton.
That one was 20-0 last we saw. Warren Central beating Hopkinsville 29-9. Owensboro 39-7 over Davies County.
Warren Central just a few days ago, actually.
29-9, 131 in the second. Actually, 29-9 over Hopkinsville. Still 131 left in the second quarter.
Wow.
So.
you know who one of their coaches are now, right? Guy Morris.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
that.
that.
Started about 2 weeks ago.
Started a couple weeks ago. Heck of a hire.
and their head coach used to play for Guy Morris when Guy Morris coached at the Patriots. And so they have a great staff there, and definitely a new staff, but they had a lot of athletes, and I was.
Harding, bad pass is picked off in the backfield there, and that was just a great read. And Iroquois threatening to run this one all the way back, and they are going to touchdown Iroquois.
Unfortunately, I did say it would be really neat if you could play action on the left side and dump it to the tight end, and he did that. He did not get it to the tight end, unfortunately.
Well, it was a great play by the defender, and I really thought that was number 3 back there, but I don't see a number 3 on the Eastern roster. So Oldham County, the first interception thrown in the ball game, and it gets returned for a touchdown. With 9:50 to go in the ball game, Iroquois is going to take the lead, 16-12.
I'm not going to call any more plays.
On for the extra point here. Iroquois had their problems in the kicking game here, although they do have a 33-yard field goal. The kick is up, and it is no good. So it is a 4-point ball game. 16-12, Iroquois leads over Oldham County. We'll be back right after this. This is the Pegasus Sports Network. Well, we're hearing a little bit of an update on the South Oldham score. Actually, there is no score. They haven't gotten started yet. South Oldham at West Jessamine tonight. And the word is that South will leave if they don't get that game started by 11:30. Wow. Oldham County, short kickoff return here. Henning's going to get it out there over the 25-yard line, maybe the 26. Iroquois didn't get that one too deep. But Henning's not able to break it. Still, Oldham County good field position at their own 25.
Mike, one more score from a team that we see occasionally. Atherton snapping a 17-game losing streak tonight, getting the win 39-14 over Lynn Camp.
Atherton plays Class 4A football. They're in North Oldham's district. We won't be broadcasting any Atherton games this year, but they are in that district with North Oldham. From the shotgun, Harding back to throw, pumps once, fires, overthrew his man, but it comes back to get it, and that was just a great play by Trey Tucker. It looked like he was going to overthrow him there, but then the pass ended up coming up short, and Tucker read it. The defense did not, and Oldham County gets a first down.
And Oldham County went ahead and kept both backs in and gave them a little extra time and let them step into the throw. And good throw and probably even a better catch.
Ends up being a 21-yard reception. Tucker with 3 catches tonight for 36 yards. Oldham County quickly to the line here now with 9:27 to play, down 16-12. Harding in the shotgun. Iroquois nearly off sides there. Oldham hands it off to Henry, and Henry fights his way out to the 48, maybe the 49. Gain of a couple. Ball right at the Oldham County 49-yard line. Clock rolling with 8:55 to play. Henry sends Tucker and Farrow to the left. Axtell to the right. 2 backs on either side of Harding, who's in the shotgun. Has the ball, hands it off to Henry. Tries straight into the line and bulldozes his way to the 50, but that's it. Now, Colonels were having some success running behind Jonathan Queenan and that big left side of the line, but
no, I would love to see how many yards have been gained per carry on the right side versus the left side.
Yeah, it's been a dramatic difference.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 7 for the Colonels now. Harding from the shotgun has the ball. Retreats. Here comes the rush. Throws. Has his man. Open at the 35. Farrow will score untouched. He was 5 yards behind everyone. And Oldham County, their 3rd pass play of 50 yards or more tonight. And for the 2nd time, they put one in the end zone.
So Iroquois manned up the outside, and they essentially said, hey, we're going to guard you one-on-one, and we're going to blitz everyone else. And that's a mistake.
Well, it looked like the man actually went with Tucker, who was cutting across the field.
Yes.
And Farrell was just able to get in behind him. I mean, he just picked the wrong receiver.
Absolutely. But he had to choose one.
He had to choose one. You're right. And unfortunately for him, he chose the wrong one.
Well, I think you have a quarterback that, again, had a little bit of time, and he had an opportunity to make a decision there and just outsmart the defense.
You know, that's one of those quick ones. You only have one man to watch. See who he picks and go the other way.
Absolutely.
Gonzalez on for the extra point here. Can make it a 3-point game. There's the hole. The kick is up. It looks good from here. Waiting for the call. It is good. And Oldham County with 7:54 to play leads by 3, 19-16. We'll be back right after this on the Pegasus Sports Network. Oldham County kicking off, as you saw there, and unfortunately kicking it out of bounds. So Iroquois will start this drive from their own 35-yard line. Saunders and company come out on the offense. Iroquois down by 3. And they'll give it to Bizamina there, and he'll try the right side, and big push by Oldham County. Axtell was in there along with a whole host of blue-clad jerseys.
How do you pronunciate that?
Barmonti.
Barmonti. I mean, he read that the entire way. He hurdled a blocker and got in there and made a phenomenal stop.
Who are you talking about?
Number 16.
Oh, Barmanji.
Barmanji.
Barmanji, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a J. No, my bad.
It's early in the year for the announcers, too. 2nd down 11 for the Raiders. Saunders in the shotgun, retreats. Going to tuck it under and run with it. And is hit at the line of scrimmage, bounces away, and is finally put to the turf there. Oldham County coming away with the tackle there was number 76, Jacob Brown.
As small as he is, he bounces off a lot of tackles.
Yeah, he really does. He's an elusive guy. 3rd down, though, and 5 for Iroquois. 6:41 and counting here in the 4th and final period. Oldham County up 19-16. Raiders and wideouts both ways. Saunders staying in the shotgun. Has the ball, sets, rolls to his right. Here comes the pressure. Throws on the run. It's a jump ball. It's incomplete. And great pressure there by Oldham County's Jake Littlefield.
Hey, how did the farmer move his cow?
Oh, here we go.
In a moving van.
So anyway, the quarterback only rolls to his right, it seems. Oldham County really hasn't forced him left at all. I mean, he's rolled off to his right every time.
You think they're bringing pressure from that side? Or do you think it's just the
tendency
of the quarterback?
I think they need to push it the other way.
That was actually not a half bad pass, considering. And now a late flag here. Iroquois counting
illegal
players, illegal formations.
Yeah, they had 4 wide receivers on the left and 1 on the right. And I think they had too many people perhaps on the line of scrimmage. Something was illegal about that.
Illegal substitution.
Told you it was illegal.
So Iroquois now looking at 4th down and 10 at their own 35-yard line, and showing punt here with 6:20 to play. They will boot it away. Oldham County's going to let it hit. It takes an Oldham County bounce. Iroquois will down it at about the Oldham County 38-yard line.
Good job by the Colonels that time to recognize pretty good coverage downfield by Iroquois. Just let it bounce and take it where it lands.
Oldham County now would like nothing better than to just grind this ball downfield, consuming clock, and letting this game run out with them on the 1-yard line. See what they can do. They've run it awfully well to the left side, have struggled to run it to the right. Guys, I'm not sure I've seen such a dramatic difference in the success of a team on one side versus the other in a while, but they've really struggled on that right side.
No, we briefly mentioned that also majority of their long passes have come on the left side.
Harding give to Henry. Henry fighting forward, trying the right side. And he actually got away from a couple of guys, but not able to get away from them all, and he ends up picking up about 3. 2nd down and 7.
Do you think the defense would notice if you moved him over to the right side? I mean, just for a player. If you're going to run to the right side, do you think they would notice that one time coming out of the huddle now?
Absolutely
if you moved him over to the right side and then run behind him that way?
No. They would notice after a play or two because you'd be getting 10 yards carry. That was offsides.
Hand off to Y'all, and Y'all will get pretty much nothing there. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage. goes down. Coming from the bottom of that pile for Iroquois was number 52, Marcus Harbin. 3rd down and 7.
3rd and 6.
PA announcer says 6. I say 7. Whatever. Clock rolling in Oldham County's favor right now as we come down to the 5-minute mark. The Colonel's going to be content to take a little time about every play here. They'll send Farrow to the left along with Tucker. Axtell goes to the right. Y'all is at fullback. Henry at tailback. Harding gives it to Henry. Tries the right side again. Good penetration there by Iroquois. And again, it was number 7, Jonte Watkins. You know, they've got his name on this roster as Watkins Jonte, but I'm wondering whether that's correct. I think it's probably the other way around. Timeout on the field, Iroquois.
Well, 3 plays, you wanted to run a little bit of clock. All 3 plays go to the right side of your offensive line when your success has been to the left side.
Yeah, and it may just take them sitting down, reviewing film, and
Sure.
and running. Because I know Mike Jackson used to do this all the time. He'd run statistics, and he would say, "Hey, look, on this side, when we ran on this side, we'd get 2.1 yards a carry, and on this side, we get 5.5 yards a carry." And you make adjustments from week to week. It's hard sometimes in the middle of a game, but it's very obvious to us.
Well, and obviously you can't run to the left side every single time you have the ball, otherwise it's eventually not going to work.
Well, they're like 6 in a row on the right now. So,
but on an important series like this was, where you could have gotten that clock down, in your favor under 3 minutes, you would have taken a shot or 2 over what's been working.
Well, Oldham County's last 6 runs have all been to the right, and they've netted just 8 yards. 4th down and 4 for the Colonels. They're going to punt it away. Iroquois will get it. About 4.5 minutes left in the ball game. Decent punt. It's going to hit at the 22-yard line. It'll take an Oldham bounce down to about the 20, and Iroquois will have it. Looks like they're going to mark it about the 21 with 4:18 left in the ball game.
Not a bad punt.
No, it really wasn't. He might have liked a little better roll than he got, but Iroquois didn't get a chance at a return. That's always a good thing, especially when you're facing a team with the fleet feet that this Iroquois squad has. Been a defensive struggle tonight. Few turnovers, both teams with 3. Kind of something you expect a little bit in the opening game of the season. And again, Iroquois is going to get some flags here as they come out here. 3,
illegal
4,
substitutions.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
they have 12 people.
Yeah, they do. Did it again. So once again, Iroquois with too many players on the field. And that'll cost them 5. They'll back up to their own 15-yard line. 1st and 15. Saunders empty backfield. 2 wides both ways. They'll send a man in motion to the near side. Saunders has it. Quarterback draw right up the middle. Has 5 yards, now 6, 7, 8 as he gets it out to about the 25. Ends up with almost a 10-yard pickup that time. That was a designed run all the way. 3:58. Iroquois taking their time here. They've got plenty of time, but you got to think they've got to make something happen on this drive.
We haven't seen much success since Iroquois has gone back to traditional huddle. First quarter, and then again in the third quarter, they came out no huddle. They started calling plays from the sideline, and they were rapid firing. They're having a lot more success, and they just haven't really moved the ball much since then.
Give to the tailback. That's Jackson. Met in the backfield and dropped. Getting back there to make the stop for Oldham County. Number 22, Jarrett Baker. Baker, a junior. Also a running back. Has not had any carries tonight, but brings his man down. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for Iroquois now. Saunders pitches to his near side here, and it's going to be Jackson. Has the first down to the 40, to the 50. He's in the clear, and Jackson's going to take this one to the house, and Iroquois is going to take the lead. And there is a flag back about the 16-yard line.
Now, this will be interesting to see if he was already in the end zone when that flag came out.
Yeah, that was completely uncalled for. I mean, you have a relatively defensive Oldham County player running down the sideline 15, 20 yards behind the ball, and the Iroquois player just came out of his way and, cleaned his clock.
Now, tell me if I'm thinking about this. If he was in the end zone, the touchdown will be good, but if it was during the play, that will come back.
That's correct. And, that
personal
play,
foul.
Dead ball. I'm pretty sure he said dead ball first.
There was a bad snap, and I think Oldham County defense lost the ball. And, it was an outside pitch. And then
touchdown.
Okay. The defense was behind the ball the whole time. They took poor angles. And, you can't do that with an outside run.
Yeah, three poor angles right at the
and I think it is because they lost the ball. It hit the ground on snap, and they probably didn't know it was coming out.
So Jackson, a 73-yard run, and it is 22-19. And now this extra point becomes so critical, guys. Iroquois has had some difficulties with their extra points here. Let's see what they decide to do.
Well, they elected to take the penalty on the kickoff.
I didn't know you could do that.
And so this will be obviously extra point from the regular spot, but then you'll get the yardage coming back.
The kick is up. It is blocked. It is no good. And with 2:43 to play in the ball game, it is still anybody's game. It's a one-possession game, 22-19, Iroquois. Raider Wolves have just really had trouble on conversions tonight. After getting a 33-yard field goal to open the scoring, then they did get an extra point kick in their first touchdown. But since then, Iroquois with an interception return for a touchdown. The kick failed. And now the long run by Jackson. And they had a chance to force Oldham County to get a touchdown. So they could have gotten that extra point. But instead, it's a 3-point game. A field goal would tie it. So Iroquois will have to kick away from their own 25-yard line. Oldham County with just 2 minutes, 43 seconds to work with here. They do have 3 timeouts. But Ismail Aiden has a long way to kick it. He boots it. Going to be taken at about the 20-yard line by Hennings. No, excuse me, that's Tucker, isn't it? Yeah, it's Hennings. It is Hennings. Hennings gets it out to the 40. So Oldham County good field position to start what could be the final drive of the game.
Plenty of time to work with. You don't need to get in too big of a rush, but you have to go back to what's been working for you.
Will take over first and 10 on their 39-yard.
Iroquois with the big play there on the 73-yard run by Jackson, and now trying to win it with their defense. Oldham County. Harding from the shotgun. Rolls, looks to his right, throws, trying to get it to Tucker, overthrew him badly, and it'll be incomplete.
Iroquois had 5 defensive backs on that. It looked like they had 3 over and 2 under, and there was an opening in the center of the field, but
yeah, probably would have been better off hitting Farrow right about the 50, taking a few yards, pick up the first down.
Harding 8 out of 13, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception tonight. 203 yards through the air for the Colonels. And Harding gonna get procedure penalty here as two receivers on this side jumped. Second down and 15 for the Colonels. 2:31 to play in the ball game. Well, Mike Schatzer talked about the resiliency of this squad in the scrimmage last week, that when things got a little tough, this squad didn't hang their heads. They're going to have to keep their heads in it right now. Harding has the ball, looks, throws deep, hit right after the throw, and it's a jump ball, and Farrell almost came down with it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Farrell didn't call for a penalty on that. Honestly, he pulled off the Iroquois player helmet well after the ball was overthrown.
Well, Farrell didn't really go up and meet that ball either. He tried to catch it kind of on his shoulder a little bit, and that's what allowed. Now we've got a flag.
Well, and it could be a flag for having your helmet off on the field.
Well, but that's the player that had his helmet knocked off. Typically, sideline penalty. But if it's knocked off, they typically won't throw that flag. Although he did run from one sideline to the other. Sideline penalty is just a warning. The first time, isn't that right?
Yeah, first time is just a warning. So 2:25 to go here. Third down and 15. Oldham County doesn't have to go deep here, but they need to get some positive yardage. You don't if you have to go for it on fourth down, it needs to be something other than 4th and 15. Two wide both ways for the Colonels. Harding in the shotgun. He's got one back there to protect. Gets the ball away, picked off. Overthrew his man, it's picked off, and this one's going to get run back for an easy score. And Iroquois may have just put this one away. On the interception, that was Jerome Kahn, and Kahn makes it a 28-19 ball game, Iroquois. 2:14 to play in the ball game. Couple of picks here in the second half for Harding. Both of them returned for 6. Well, there's interceptions, guys, and then there's interceptions. And unfortunately, these two very costly. Iroquois gotten some big scores here in the second half, and now they get their extra point as the kick is up and the kick is good. And 29-19, the lead now is 10. Well, nobody likes to lose the first game. That's just you don't like to get off to that bad foot, especially considering how tough the schedule is for Oldham County right after this game. You got the rivalry games against North and South. You got a big game in a couple of weeks against Franklin County, a top 10 team in the state. Next 3 weeks are going to be very tough for Oldham County. But so, right now you're looking deep and trying to see what kind of magic you can pull out of the hat here in the final 2:14.
And you go back to all three of those passes went to the right side. All your success, even passing-wise, has been on the left side.
Absolutely. Yeah, everything horrible that's happened or stagnant has been on the right, and everything extraordinary has been on the left. And, what we saw, almost 4 or 5 passes in a row to the right, 6 runs in a row to the right, and we didn't see anything good result from it.
Hennings brings it out over the 20, tries to bounce it to the far side, and the ball is loose. And Iroquois seems to think they have it. Let's see. I haven't seen an official. Did they signal? Okay, yep. I didn't see the official signal. But another turnover for Oldham County, a fumble on the return, on the kickoff return. And for Oldham County tonight, 5 turnovers. That's just awfully hard to overcome.
Yeah, very, very few games will you see a team win with 5 turnovers?
Well, and this is, for Oldham County right now, this is a character building, and this last 4 or 5 minutes of the game have been really tough. And let's just see how they act and how they react to this, and hopefully they come out and play as hard as they have the first few quarters, and right there.
Nice hit.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't look like there's any quit in them, and it seems like I think the coach can definitely leave this game with a lot of positives, and I think he can relay that and communicate that to his team and say, hey, look, we were doing a lot of things really good. We had a few mistakes in the fourth quarter.
Ian Fullerton and Jacob Brown leading the way on that defensive charge there. 2nd down and 9 for Iroquois. 1:30 left to play in the ball game. The Raiders will be none too hurried about get plays off here now. There's the snap, and the give is to the tailback. Fighting his way forward, and finally going to get taken down by a host of Colonel defenders. Not really sure yet who that was carrying the ball. 18? Yeah, I think that was Sean Broadway. 5'11" junior. Well, it looked like 18. That's listed as a quarterback. 1 minute left to play in the ball game. We got a timeout here. Next week, folks, Pegasus Sports will be in Goshen, Kentucky, at least assuming North Oldham can get their field back in shape. North Oldham against Oldham County, a series that is actually fairly young, even though North Oldham was opened in 2003. The two teams have only met 3 times. So Oldham County has never won that game. They've been very, very close ball games. Oldham has led late in every one of them, but still looking for their first win against the Mustangs.
And it seems, if memory serves me correctly, that late turnovers have been the issues.
Yeah, it really has, at least the last couple of years. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock next week live from Goshen. Boy, they have really struggled with their field because of the weather this year. Actually, we're going to be playing their game tonight against Evansville Central at South Oldham High School. Now, last we heard, that game did not happen. 1 minute exactly to play here. Power eye backfield behind Saunders. Long count, now looks to the sidelines.
Timeout.
And they're going to call a timeout. Ball is just shy of the Oldham County 20-yard line. They're looking at 3rd down and about a yard here. Time certainly on the Raider Wolves side here, as they just have a minute left to play to preserve this victory in what has been a very seesaw affair. Folks, want to remind everybody that Pegasus Sports will be bringing you Oldham County, South Oldham, North Oldham football all throughout the season. If you can't watch the live broadcast, don't forget it's archived indefinitely here at www.pegasussportsky.com. Also, you can watch it at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, or 10 o'clock Sunday through Friday night on digital cable channel 25. From the power eye, and there's the give to the fullback, and that should be enough for a first down. And from here, Iroquois should just run out the clock. Do have some scores. Simon Kenton over Collins, 33-14. And holy cow, is this true? Caldwell County leads Christian County with 4 minutes left in their football game. This is reported by BluegrassPreps.com. 78-57. Did they cancel the football game and bring out some hardwood? 78-57. Wow. Russellville over Trigg County, 36-14, 147 left in that one. Of course, the story for U of L fans tonight, Devontae Parker injured during practice, and they are going to take him to North Carolina for treatment here. As Iroquois is just going to take the victory formation and run out the clock as we're down to 25 seconds here. And Oldham County's Mike Schatzer era, unfortunately tonight, going to start with a loss here. Game, it looked like the Colonels were going to be able to pull out there late, but in the final few moments of the fourth period, some bad breaks, a couple of interception returns, and Iroquois comes away with the win, 29-19, as the two teams head across to shake hands. Tough night, guys.
Tough night. I think Dallas pointed out earlier, you're going to go back, they're going to watch this film. There's going to be some positives. They're going to show that to the team and, focus on those. Obviously, late in the game, things kind of, the wheels kind of fell off the track, and a couple of late turnovers there obviously hindered things. But, it's a first-year coach. First game's out of the way. Take the positives. Get better next week.
29-19, Iroquois. We're going to take one quick time out here. We'll be back for a final look at the numbers. You're listening to the Pegasus Sports Network. Well, we usually are out of here on a football night about 10:30. It's almost midnight. It's past my bedtime, guys. Oldham County dropping their opening game of the season, 29-19. A tough one here, a game that didn't get started till well after the original starting date, or starting time rather, because of lightning in the area. But we did get it underway, and the two teams did play a pretty interesting game, if not exactly the most beautiful game in the world. 8 turnovers tonight, and the ball was on the ground enough times that there could have been much more.
Well, the final score is certainly not indicative of the way this entire ball game was played. Obviously, back and forth throughout the game. Oldham County just coming up short towards the end, and a late INT touchdown for the Iroquois defense, making it a little larger cushion for them in the end.
Yeah, Oldham County tonight certainly had their opportunities to win the ball game, and that's, I think all any coach can ask for is a chance to win. And the Colonels were leading late in the ball game, 19-16 after a 50-yard touchdown pass to Farrell from Harding. And Oldham County appeared to be going to hold that. It looked like the Colonels were going to be able to hang on. Iroquois, though, with 2:43 left, Jack on a 73-yard run that pushed the Raiders back on top, 22-19. Still, Oldham County with plenty of time, but that big INT returned for a touchdown. It happened twice to the Colonels tonight, and Iroquois able to win by a deceptively big score there of 29-19, ending up by 10. A sloppy game for both teams tonight, as the ball, like we said, was put on the ground a number of times. But both coaches should be able to come away from this. Dallas, you talked about it several times tonight, with something good to show their team, as well as things that they're going to have to do better.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I don't know moving forward, because we did see quite a few different sets and seemingly a few different strategies from Oldham County tonight. And a little bit of everything worked. And, but I would definitely say that the glaring thing that we saw tonight was anything in and around Jonathan Quinnen worked a lot better. And, you throw the ball down the left side when he's protecting you, and you get a bunch of 50-yard gains, some touchdowns. You run the ball on the left side, you're probably averaging 5 to 6 yards a carry. And that's a great thing to have, individuals that don't necessarily have the ball in their hand, but you can count on to make sure that the ball is going to move forward. And, I'd like to see the guy in the defensive line, too. I don't think you can move him.
Before the season, you may see that before the end.
Oldham County on the ground tonight, just 61 yards on 28 carries, so just a hair over 2 yards a carry. Jason Henry did finally start to get things going, 76 yards on 21 carries, but the rest of the team, 7 carries for minus 15 yards. And even Henry, we noticed a decided difference. When he went to that left side, some big gains. The right side, it was pretty much Henry against the world. So that was certainly a problem tonight. James Harding tonight, 8 of 15 passing. On the good side of things, he threw 3 touchdowns tonight, but on the bad side, 2 interceptions, both of those returned for touchdowns. 203 yards through the air for Oldham County tonight. Carson Axtell only had 2 catches, but they went for 106 yards and a score. Trey Tucker, 3 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown. Alan Farrow, one catch for 50 yards and a touchdown. And Joel Carey and Mark Reynolds each had 1 catch in the ball game for Oldham County. Scott, I think you brought up earlier that, quite often at this time of the year, the offense isn't as far along as the defense, and I think we certainly saw that from Oldham County tonight.
Well, I think you're going to see that from everybody for probably this week and next week, especially those teams with new coaching staffs and new plays that they're trying to learn. The defense you can rely more on athleticism on defense, even if you don't know the play, because all you're doing is trying to chase down the ball, than if you're on offense and knowing where you have to go and run your routes. So I think at any level early in the season, the defense outweighs the offense either way.
And our special guest announcer tonight, Dallas Robinson. Glad to have you here with us tonight. Was hoping you'd bring a little more luck on the football field, but that's, hey, that's how it goes some nights. What's next up for you?
So like we said before, I'm in the Kentucky National Guard, and so actually the entire month of September I'm going to Warrior Leader course in Columbus, Ohio. And it's a mandatory course for all non-commissioned officers. And so I'm excited to go to that. And, that'll put me in Ohio for the entire month of September. And then hopefully get back and get to hang out with more high schools and obviously get to hang out more in the community and hopefully get to do a little bit more broadcasting.
That'd be cool. We'd love to have you anytime, sir. Anytime. Sergeant Dallas Robinson, 2001 graduate from Oldham County, and, of course, a recent bobsledder over at the Sochi Olympics in Russia. And anytime, we'd love to have you. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight.
Great. Thank you for having me.
29-19, your final score. Iroquois with the win here tonight to start the year. Oldham County drops their first game under Mike Schatzer, but, you lace them up again next week, and next week the opponent, North Oldham, in a game that'll be broadcast right here on the Pegasus Sports Network. Till then, for Dallas Robinson and Scott Jaggers, I'm Mike Montgomery. Good night from Buckner. Tune in next time for more coverage of the Colonels, the Dragons, and the Mustangs on the Pegasus Sports Network.